recording.
Now recording.
Not recording.
Wait, did Craig even say that? Well, that's just you, Tree. That was perfectly synced.
Yep. Because now, when I hear the beep sound, the part of my brain that is entrained immediately goes, yes, time to say this.
Pavlov
Yes.
is crawling out of his grave.
Yes,
Yeah, he
Pavlov.
really is. Yes.
No.
Oh,
Yes. Dear listeners,
Oh, dear.
we are not the full cast today. That's why we're recording this Christmas special. And so, with me is Klow. Hello, Klow.
Hello, Prince. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. With me is also Tree.
It is I.
Claudius. Yes. So, and with me is also a special guest star, Salty, who is stepping in today. Hello, Salty.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yes. Wow.
So
Wildly
happy to
different.
have you.
Wildly different introductions again. But yes, very happy to have you. Very happy to be playing this game. And so, welcome everyone to this Christmas special of Desperate Attune, in which we are not in Uduasha. In this little Christmas extra, we are playing a different game, which I have made, and which should be released by the time this episode comes out. Actually, it will be released, or Klow will get mad.
I'll just delete this bit if you fail me.
well, you will have to delete this, and also when I say it in the middle of the session then, because Klow is the only person on this group whose fury I genuinely am scared of. Anybody else doesn't get angry? So far as I can tell, I've never seen Adiyat angry. Salty's pretty chilled out. I don't know that Prince has ever had any emotion except kind of like wonder and delight in my presence. So, you know.
I display the full range of a human being,
Exactly.
Yes.
and I'm not afraid to do it.
So you're kind of the Voltron of emotions of this group. The rest of us just kind of come together to form you. Anyway, we are playing a game called Weirdos in a Rich Guy's House. And this is pretty much the opposite of what we usually play. This is a game I made that evokes farces, because I had a great love of farce growing up. And so this is a game in which you are guests at a rich person's house, aiming to exploit that rich person in one way or another. The rich person is called the host, everyone else plays guests, and the game is called Weirdos in a Rich Guy's House because, well, everyone is weird. And the basic format of the game is everyone has a scheme that they're trying to pull on the host in one shape or the other. And yeah, if you're interested in it, it will be on my itch.io. It is on my itch.io. Time is confusing.
We all haven't been. Dr. Dan Street Mentioner has a solution to all problems.
Yes. Anyway, this is a game about misunderstandings, stupid ploys, and random chaos. And it's all about...
I know exactly who I'm going to play, so please go on.
Yes. It's all about embracing this. So, the main structure of the game, explaining this both to listeners and to Salty, who hasn't played it before. The goal of the game is that you have a scheme. Currently, every playbook has 2 schemes, so you pick one. Aside again, some of them only have 1. I'm sorry about that. This will be fixed when it comes out, hopefully. You pick a scheme, and every day there are like 3 touchstones. At breakfast, you declare your scheme for the day, what you're trying to do. And then the day moves on to high tea, when there is some chance to change course or redouble your efforts. And then there is the evening, where a key part of the scheme carries out at night. And then as your schemes end, you basically get scored on how well you succeeded on your scheme. And in campaign play, these scores carry over to the next day. But we are just doing one day today. And so, the basic rules are, you have hospitality and scandal, which are kind of your stats to keep track of. And then you have 3 basic stats. They are poet, the stat for emotions and words. They are hero, the stat for challenging someone with words or to a game of jeu de boule. This is what it says in the rules.
Sorry.
And yes. And there is spy. So you can be some combination of poet, hero, and spy. And spy is for doing sneaky things.
Prince,
Yes.
Before you go on, I would like you to mention, because we're not in Udwashi today, where are we? Who is our host?
Yes. So Tree has normally this game is set in like 19th century Britain, but by Tree's insistence, our host is going to be Lord Scurlock today. This will probably be a very different Lord Scurlock than what fans of Blades in the Dark are used to, because again, this is a farce. But
Indeed.
The host is an immortal vampire, and you are people who stay with the immortal vampire.
Yes.
So, your goal basically is to improve your hospitality and avoid scandal. And your goal is also to pull off your scheme. And when you actively meddle in another player's action, not a scheme roll, spend 1 hospitality to give them +1 or -1, your choice. You may instead gain 1 scandal to give them +2 or -2 if you do something outrageous.
Oh, you should mention that we're playing Powered by the Apocalypse.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. So it is.
So you roll 2 dice and then you add a stat, which may be different to what regular listeners of the podcast and people used to Forged in the Dark are used to, because normally in that system, you just roll a number of dice and take your highest stat. In this, we will always roll 2 dice, add a number, and then hope to get a higher number.
Yep. So it is. And there are special rolls attached to each of the playbooks. And the active playbooks, which are the ones probably best for a new player, are the Artiste. Actually, Tree, you did them so well last time. Why don't you explain the active playbooks again?
Yes, why ever not? The Artiste, you are here for art. Your goal is to find patronage. Imagine one of Bertie Wooster's friends who's living in a large mansion trying to get somebody to pay him to raise iguanas. Pretty sure that is actually one of Bertie Wooster's friends, though I've forgotten which one it is. Maybe Gussie Finknottle? Yes, Gussie Finknottle. Very good. Yeah. The debutante, who is somebody looking to make a fast impression, to make a splash. Imagine really any of Jane Austen's, not protagonists, because the protagonists usually don't want to make a splash, but normally like the protagonist's best friend. So not Elizabeth Bennet, but her elder sister, whose name escapes me at the moment. The grifter, this is just Wickham. You are here for money, is just Wickham. The hypochondriac, this is Elizabeth Bennet's mother, who just wants attention and is convinced everything is going to go wrong at all times. The lover, you're in pursuit of romantic affairs. You could kind of argue that this is Mr. Bingley, right? Like Mr. Bingley is like very rich, but also he just really wants to fall in love, right? And lastly, the penniless. And the penniless is that odious little priest who's always hanging around. And he was trying to marry Elizabeth Bennet, but Elizabeth was clearly too cool for him. And I've forgotten his name also. So yeah, those are the active playbooks. As you can see, you could play Pride and Prejudice in this game, but we are not going to. And the reason for that is that I am not Jane Austen and I can't replicate it. And for this, I apologize.
The other reason is that our host is Lord Scurlock. I will again reiterate.
If you wanna mention that our host is a vampire, also that. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we may not get Pride and Prejudice, but we may get Pride and Prejudice and vampires.
Vampires. Yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to specify that the only character amongst the many that Tree named, the only one I know is Gussie Finknottle.
Mm-hmm. And you were thinking of Jane Bennet and Mr. Collins.
Yes,
I studied Pride and Prejudice.
I did think her name was Jane, and I thought Jane's a very like normal name, but of course that's why she's called that. So
yeah, I'm just establishing that it's not that I'm badly read, I'm just weirdly read.
Yes.
Join the club.
Yes.
Anywho.
Yes.
So the first thing we do in play, we will get to selecting your character and detailing them in a moment. But the first thing we do in the game is we detail the host. But I think this is normally quite fast. So, you introduce the host and you name them with 3 descriptors. I'm trying to remember my game. Like I wrote this, but it was a long time ago since I looked at it.
And then you're also trying to figure out how the hell do I make this about Scurlock?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like Scurlock could make a really good Mr. Darcy.
Yeah.
People just don't think of Mr. Scurlock as a Mr. Darcy. Mr. Scurlock. Mr. Scurlock.
Mr. Scurlock is
please refer.
Don't they? Isn't he like always like for some reason? Doesn't he just have this bizarre stereotype on like the Blade's Discord as like a, I don't know, the one of the key characters in the dating game?
Yeah, he is like common love interest.
Why?
My love interest specifically.
Why?
No, if you're going to go Scurlock, you have to go for the Satara route at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 hands.
You gotta
Double.
Yeah. 2 hands. 2 hands. What's taking it?
Anyway.
Yes.
I don't want to think about this anymore.
Yes. What we do first is we introduce the host and then we introduce the guests. So there are 3 descriptors in the book, or in the base game there are a couple of just pre-written hosts. For example, one of them is described as uncultured, insecure, and status obsessed. So we're looking for 3 similar descriptors for Lord Scurlock, and since we have 3 players, let's just let me as the GM be maximally lazy, and let me ask each of you for a word. And let's start with Salty. Give Lord Scurlock a descriptor.
Excellent.
Oh no, not me. I'm going for brooding.
Brooding. Excellent. Yes. And Klow?
Indecisive.
Brooding, indecisive, excellent. And 3, what else is true about Lord Scurlock?
There is a word, mercurial. Oh wait, that's kind of indecisive anyway. No.
I'm happy to switch out indecisive for mercurial.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. It's a more fun word, I think.
Yeah.
Brooding, mercurial, and then?
And, yeah, give me 1 second.
I think it's part of being indecisive that it changes to mercurial.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Interested in sports.
Okay.
There's a word for
Very
it.
sporting.
Yes.
Sports fan.
Yeah, but
Lord Berthold,
because
Lord Scurlock. Yep.
Yeah, because sporting kind of implies fair,
Sporty.
which this is not. Sporty.
Sporty.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Sporty. Yes.
And my contribution will be to give him a suitable first name for a game sort of like this. So I have named him Lord Berthold Aloysius Scurlock.
Yes. I love this man already. I will do nothing to betray him except whatever my character demands.
There was in one of our campaigns, there was a whole arc about Scurlock being obsessed with tennis.
Well, excellent. So, anyway, moving on. This is our host. Next, we are going to introduce our player characters, and then we're going to fill out the house with some servants and other such. And so, Salty, you will be playing the debutante.
Yes.
Yes. And, well, the debutante picks one of 2 schemes. One of them is... let me see. You pick one of 2 schemes. One of them is a party, and the other one is the newest fashion. You can determine this later, but for now, just name your character, introduce the debutante, and give them some stats. So, as the debutante, your drive is to be the center of attention at all times, and it's difficult because people don't pay you very much attention or overlook you. You start with hero +1, poet +0, spy -1. Add 1 to one of these stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, which one are you boosting?
Yeah, so I'm going to be boosting poet. So I'm a hero and a poet, but I'm not good at that underhanded stuff. And I will be playing Lissa Brocada, pronouns of they and she. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be planning a party.
You're going to be planning a party.
Mm-hmm.
Delightful. Yep.
We will get to
the introduction.
Okay, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. I apologize. Totally fine.
Okay. Moving on to Klow. Who will you be playing?
I shall be playing Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos. Yes, and if some refer to me these days as the hypochondriac.
Mm-hmm.
Hypochondriac.
If one were to reduce my august presence to numbers, the stats would be hero +1, Spy +1. Oh no, let's keep Spy to 0. And Poet to 0.
So, wait, Hero 1, Spy 0, Poet 0. Okay.
Yes.
Good. Excellent. And finally, then, yeah, I guess that's your character. And your scheme is a damned nuisance, which is dealing with a damned nuisance. And lastly, Tree. Who will you be playing?
I will be playing Yamini Anpritam. She is an old friend of Scurlock's because she is the penniless. And what she wishes to do is rekindle her friendship. Her scheme is called Kindling Friendship. And she wishes to rekindle her friendship with Lord Scurlock because I really need the help on account of it's not great. And my
That's not right.
yeah, I mean, like, just like with Lissa, my character's full introduction you will have to hear during the session. But I have an incredible idea for her, which I can't wait for you to find out. And my stats, I start Spy +1, Hero 0, and Poet -1. And I think my stats are going to be Spy +1, Hero +1, and Poet -1 because poetry's for nerds.
Yes. Very good.
I have to say to you.
So everyone also has 2 other stats. Hospitality, which begins at 2. If the session ends with your hospitality at 0, you are kicked out of the house. You have. Let me redo that. Your hospitality starts at 2, and your scandal starts at 0. If your scandal is higher than your hospitality at the end, you are thrown out. So your hospitality can go to 0, and you'll be fine. And yeah, the main way to try to increase your hospitality and keep your scandal low is, of course, scheming.
Yeah, I should mention. I should mention that Yamini's pronouns are they, them. Again, for reasons that you might think, oh my god, all this gender stuff. No. Yamini's they, them for a very different reason, which you're about to find out. So don't worry about it.
Okay, good. So we have 1 they, them, 1 she, they, and 1 he, him, I believe. Yes, and what we do next is once you have decided on your host, each player now narrates 1 household member, an NPC. Turn to the player to your left and give them a household member suitable to their playbook. For example, a beautiful daughter for the lover to pursue, or a dim-witted nephew for the grifter to scam. Make them as obvious a mark as you can for this person's scheme. So, the debutante wants to get attention. The hypochondriac wants to basically complain about a problem and see it fixed. Also kind of wants attention, but in a different way. And the penniless wants to win the favor of the host. So we have 2 people whose goal is attention, 1 person whose goal is the host's attention specifically. And so let's do this backwards and start with Tree, who may give, I guess you can seat yourself anywhere you like and give anyone you want a person that is.
I think I will.
An obvious mark.
I think. Yeah, I'm gonna name somebody who Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos may find useful. Because Lord Scurlock, as we all know, has a very reliable butler. Lord Scurlock's butler's name should not be Eagle, but I am so tempted to just make it Eagle. Fuck it. Lord Scurlock's butler's name is Eagle.
Igor the butler.
Igor, yeah. Igor always arrives when you're not looking. Always right behind you, gives you a little scare, but is incredibly helpful. Just, if you want something done in the house, and you tell Igor, hey, I'm a guest of Lord Scurlock and I need this, Igor will do it.
Yep. Very good. Then Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos hands a useful NPC, a household member, to Lyssa Brocala.
The household member is called the Jack of Diamonds. It's a arcane entity. It's a playing card that floats.
Okay, it's a floating playing card.
Yes.
There's a floating playing card in this house. Okay.
Listen, you wanted you were like, let's play in Lord Scurlock's house. What do you think's in Lord Scurlock's house, huh?
Weird shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's court.
Yep.
Sexy young assistant.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wrong.
Playing card.
This is
okay.
all very chaotic. Anyway, I should say, actually, first, let us have Lissa introduce a person that will be useful to Yamani's schemes. A member of the household who will be helpful to a person trying to get the host's attention.
Let's chuck Satara in there.
Yes! Exactly who I wanted. I cannot tell you how glad I am. Absolutely.
No, I'm getting what you're laying down. Yeah, Satara's in there. I think she's not called Satara because that's too obvious.
It's
I think
Aratis. It's just Satara.
Aratis. Yeah, Aratis. Aratis, who is a very bohemian lounge singer, and his current obsession.
So Satara is taking the form of a lounge singer. Very, very good. Very good.
Yeah,
That's all
he's
the
very.
useful NPCs. We now flip it and reverse it and go in the opposite direction, which means that I guess Lissa starts and introduces a person who is a problem. I will read from the book. Just a second here. Turn to the player to your right. Narrate a servant or bondsman and make them an obvious foil to the scheme. So, for example, the lover might be foiled by an inquisitive lady-in-waiting, or the grifter might be foiled by a pernicious accountant. Make them as big a problem as you can for this person's scheme. So, since you handed a helpful person to Yamani, you now hand a problem the other way to Nestor.
Oh, I think it's going to be. I imagine you have an academic rival, right? Who's also staying at the house. Dr. Alexander. And he knows all of your foils, all of your little tells.
Of course he does. I'm famous.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe you studied together.
Doctor,
he was president of the society.
Yes, I'm going to name him Dr. Albert Alexander. Or was it a he/him, actually?
Yeah, let's chuck it as a he/she.
Ah, yes.
Oh, we love it.
Yes, Dr. Albertine? I'm splitting the difference between Albert and Albertine.
Yeah.
Alberti. There we go.
Alberti.
Alberti. Okay, so you have your academic rival at the house. Very good. Then Nestor throws Yamani a problem.
Someone who's a servant or guest, right?
Who is interfering with the problem of rekindling friendship with the scheme of rekindling friendship with the host.
Trying to think. Yes. Her name is Kitiana. Kitiana Robespierre.
Okay.
She is really good tennis player. And has gotten Lord Scurlock deeply into tennis. And this dominates his every waking moment and every yearning and dream.
Okay. Right. So he loves tennis.
Yes.
Excellent. And he loves this Kitiana Robespierre, a tennis player.
Yes.
Fantastic. Or admires this person.
This is an issue because I definitely don't know what tennis is or how to play it.
And lastly, Yamani then throws a problem to Lissa. So someone who is a problem to this idea of throwing a fabulous party and getting all the attention.
I know who this is. I think that Lord Scurlock has a friend. And this friend is Lissa's dad. And Lissa's dad really doesn't want her to be partying hanging out with unsavory types, all this stuff.
So is he also a
Lys's-
guest at the house? I guess
I
so.
think that he's over so often that he may as well be a guest.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone's a debutant, no one debuts themselves, right?
Mhm.
Usually it's their parents who bring them over to be debuted or something, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What is Lyssa's dad's name? You get to decide. This is not a game where you have total control over your own character, as you can tell. So.
Yeah. But you have control over other people's characters, right?
Uh-huh.
I think Lyssa's dad's name is Basso Baz. And the reason that Lyssa's not taken her dad's name is her dad, not the kind of character you want associated with a young debutante.
Or maybe this is, in fact, her dad's name, and Basso Baz is just
Oh,
a
yeah.
business name.
Yeah, I
That
think
is
he's
true.
just named Basso Baz Procala because that's an awesome name, actually.
Yeah, you're right. And so and what I think here is that this man, who literally runs a gang in Duskwall, thinks that the noble society is too, seedy for his daughter.
Okay. Incredible. Yes. No notes. Or possibly many notes, but it's... Okay.
The notes are the first couple bars of Beethoven's Fifth, which are, of course, da-da-da-da.
Uh-huh.
Those
Okay.
More like dad.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
So,
correct.
This has introduced our cast, and the way the game is meant to be played, this is going to be like pretty much our fixed cast. So it's going to be Lord Scurlock plus these NPCs. More NPCs will, of course, be introduced if they're needed, like additional servants and so on. But the idea is to keep the focus here. However, these NPCs are not necessarily tied to the schemes. Like, you don't have to pursue the obvious target of your scheme. You can and are encouraged to pursue someone else. So you can mix it up with these NPCs. You're not tied to the ones that have been handed to you. And with that, we are ready to play. And before play, I think we should check in for just some quick safety tools, because this is a different kind of game than I've played with everyone present before. So I think it's good to just establish partly safety tools and partly just expectations. So yeah, this is a game of farce and family misadventure. It's not the sort of game where it's expected that anyone will die, right? The game doesn't particularly have mechanics for killing and violence and so on, but it does have mechanics for romantic trysts and misunderstandings and so on. So I think we should lay down some lines and veils related to this, just because it's potentially, at least now, no one has picked the lover or anything like that, but still it's potentially on the table. So let's
absolutely.
I'll start, I guess, and I'll just say that the usual we do at this table applies. Sexual content is veiled and sexual violence is lined. I said that right? No sexual violence at all, and sexual content, if it happens, will be veiled and glossed over. And I think other than that, there is some possibility for fucked up family relationships now that we have Lyssa's dad, which I will try to be careful with, I guess. Or I would like to be careful with, rather. That's my personal preference. But we're keeping it on the comical side. So
I mean, fucked up family dynamics is something that's on the regular podcast as well.
That is also true.
Yeah. I'm happy to go next.
Sure.
I agree with what Prince said. I think one of the things I want to mention is that I do intend to be playing a character who is happy to flirt with, have sex with, whatever. A person that they see as someone who will help them become Scurlock's friend again. And so I think they are likely to be engaging in this if they think it is useful. And so if other players would prefer not to be involved in that, that's totally fine. I will absolutely, romance the shit out of this tennis player whom I hate because I can't play tennis. But also, I think that in terms of kind of killing and violence and so on, because Scurlock is a vampire, whether or not we know it. I am okay. Like I kind of like that being something that hangs over the farce is something that I'm kind of interested in lampshading, even if we don't necessarily like actually ever address it.
Noted.
But yeah, that's where I'm.
I want to get everyone's feelings on fucked up magical bullshit.
Just tone-wise, not like lines and veils like.
Yeah. Is it a line for someone? Because, like, I mean, this is Scurlock being run as a farce, so that's different from like how I've usually seen Scurlock in the past, which can be very dark and really fucked up. But I would still like it to be Scurlock recognizably somehow. So I would like there to be magic and such. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Fucked up magic. It is. That's on the table. Yep.
Yeah. I have nothing to add.
Yeah, and I think just veiling some self-harm and suicide. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yes. Good note on that. Okay.
Great.
I think that's us checked in.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how the game normally works then is that we start the scene at breakfast, but just for the sake of like pedagogics and introducing it, I'm going to just read everyone's breakfast schemes out loud so that everyone is on board with like how the game starts. So for Lissa, at breakfast, declare a social event you are planning for the evening tied to show off your own plethora of skills, like a party, a delicious dessert you'll be making for everyone, etc. And then once we start playing, you will introduce it during play and then roll poet. And the breakfast, high tea, and evening rolls all have different stats. So like the playbooks are designed that sometimes it's really unfair. All of them have like sometimes you have to do things you suck at, and sometimes you get to do things you're really good at, and then we will resolve them as they happen. But yeah, that's where Lissa starts off. So you can think a little bit about that and how we will introduce it at breakfast. As for Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos, at breakfast, declare what is annoying you today. The cold draft in the house, the poor quality of the food, the incompetence of the resident nurse, and then request something get done about it, or by God, demand it. So that's the thing there. And for the penniless, talk about an afternoon activity you would like to do today that you know the host loves. And idly mention that you're interested in pursuing such an activity today. Then ask another player, which of you will join me? If no one answers, name an NPC who is not the host. Whoever this person is, they will do the activity with you later today, then roll hero. And then we will see where it goes. What's a little bit different about the Penniless scheme is that the Penniless scheme is sort of shorter. It aims to do something in the afternoon, and it does not... The thing that finishes in the evening is the ability to rekindle friendship. So the Penniless has like a more short-term goal, whereas the other two basically are dedicating the entire day to their project.
Yeah. On the other hand, it also sets it up so that somebody can just steal my thunder.
Yep. Exactly. That is the design intent. So, I will begin by narrating a scene at breakfast, and then we will just everyone narrate their characters, what they look like, what the vibe is for the day, and then we will get started on scheming. And so, it is a gloomy morning in Scurlock Manor, which is this like dilapidated, run-down, beautiful ancient manor in central Duskwall under a slowly rising, I was going to say sun, but remnant of a sun, because this is the universe which has no sun.
Right.
And we find ourselves in a comically long breakfast table, like ridiculously long, with all of the other characters, PCs and NPCs and so on, seated at one end, and Lord Scurlock very, very far away on the other. And this is Lord Berthold Aloysius Scurlock. He has just gotten up and called everyone to breakfast. He is, I think, a surprisingly small man in like a plain grey suit, sitting at the end, brooding, quiet, looking over his porridge, which is what is being served for breakfast. It is mushrooms and porridge. Plates have been put out for everyone, and I suppose that we will start by focusing our spotlight appropriately on the debutante, Lissa. How do you look today, and how are you doing as you have gotten up?
Looking lovely, ravishing even. So I've done my hair very nicely. It's this kind of like long raven black tresses. It's kind of sweeping every so often my fringe out of my face, peering demurely up through my eyelashes as I sup upon my mushroom porridge. Just in clothes that would probably better be suited to say Bright Harbour or Imperial City.
Excellent. Do you think your father is here with you now? Is he at breakfast or not really?
Hopefully not, but...
Yeah, I'm letting you decide here. So he is not at breakfast. He's not in this scene, but he will turn up. I don't
think he is. He will turn up, yes. He's got his own breakfast to be dealing with.
Very good. Someone who is here, however, is the Jack of Diamonds, which is lying on the table. This like magical talking playing card. And I think the Jack of Diamonds is in the unique position of being allowed to be closer to Lord Scurlock, sitting at the other end of the table. So Lissa is here, and so is the Jack of Diamonds, the playing card. What about Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos? How, when the camera pans to him, is he taking his breakfast?
He's sitting kind of morosely, and he's just looking at his porridge and stirring it slowly, desultorily, kind of like every now and then having a sip, kind of giving a sigh as he kind of like resigns himself to the flavor. And every now and then his sigh becomes more loud and theatrical, and he sort of like furtively looks from the cover of his gigantic beard and his like long flowing white hair. He furtively looks to to see if anyone's like paying attention to him. But he's trying not to be seen, to be looking to see if anyone's paying attention to him.
Yeah.
And then he just says, me.
Excellent. And do you think that your rival is present? I will let you decide this too, because it could go either way. Which is Dr. Alberti Alexander.
Yes, he arrived last night. No, he arrived at some point, which seems to us like last night, but it must have been a week ago.
Yes. So Dr. Alexander is sitting some distance away from you. And what's Alexander's like appearance and vibe? We already know that they're a nuisance to you. Are they like young and hot where you're old and decrepit, or is there more like, what's the vibe?
They look almost exactly like Professor Calculus from Tintin.
Okay, yes.
But like somehow more jacked and more fit and like really wearing it well. It's like the same guy, but like
I did not expect.
What if exactly the same guy, but still somehow hot? You know.
Wonderful.
I did not expect hot, fit, Cuthbert Calculus to exist in my brain today. This is why I am constantly reminded.
That only means you didn't read enough Tintin.
Yes.
Because he throws down many times.
Yes. So Dr. Alexander and the Jack is here. And it's Lissa and Nessa. And finally Yamani.
Yeah, so Yamini, Anpritam, who is, attempting to do the same thing that Lissa is, but with far less success. Fluttering their eyelashes. Oh, I'm so pretty. But they're not really as good at it as their younger. Not rival exactly, but certainly somebody who is taking attention away from Lord Scurlock, but also as his old friends know him. They are dressed in a fairly eclectic fashion. So they are wearing a white shirt and overalls, which I don't think anybody has worn in the Shattered Empire for maybe 300 or 400 years, if not longer. And they, like a raggedy kind of scraggled hair that has been tried to be wrestled into shape and failed and then made into a bun. Also looking down at this mushroom soup with a wrinkle on their nose and just going, "Oh, Bertold, darling. You did used to like porridge so much, didn't you?"
Actually, I'm dreadfully bored of this. Igor, please take it away, he says, and he pushes the plate away. And Igor just appears, as Igor does. And he says,
as Igor is wont to do.
Yes, as Igors are wont to do. And Igor says, "Yes, sir, of course." And he takes the plate, and then Lord Scurlock looks after it pensively, and he says, "Actually, perhaps, no. I don't know. I don't feel like mushrooms today. Or do I? How are you finding it?" He says, kind of in general, to the other end of the table.
Oh, Bertold, stop. Oh, you don't seem like yourself at all. Which is a lie, because this is what he's like all the time.
Yeah, you say he doesn't at all seem like himself today. And he gets something wistful in his eyes, and I suppose, and says, "Yes, I've been rather bored, actually. Maybe I ought to go... no." And I think this is like one opening for you. He considers, should I just go play tennis again? But
no. I need this. Okay, I need this.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say, Bertold, I have an idea now, just a fancy. But what if we did something like we used to the old? What if we? And now I got to come up with something that they did in the old days. And I think what they used to do is not tennis. It was a sport completely unlike tennis, but still equally ridiculous. So it was croquet. And
Lovely.
So I think I will say, why don't we set up a croquet maze outside? Wouldn't it be delightful?
Yes. So he looks at you and considers this, and your move here requires you to ask another player, which of you will join me? So who looks up interested at the idea of some afternoon croquet?
Yeah.
Any volunteers? Actually, Tree, you can pick someone if you want, but...
Oh, great.
I will say...
I can pick someone.
Sorry.
I can think of nothing funnier.
Yeah.
Lissa seems more likely. Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos seems funny. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because the doctor is just looking at his porridge, like trying not to volunteer, because, everyone's opinion was asked, but this woman is the only one speaking, and now he's miffed at that because he had a lot to say about this mushroom.
Yes.
So he's like sitting there in silence.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
What about to be invited to croquet because he used to be very good. He was quite the champion. Not that people care so much about that these days.
Yeah, so I suppose what happens is that there is no explicit invitation here, right? The idea is raised, but there's an opportunity for either Nestor to volunteer, which he does not, or for Lissa to volunteer. So the question is, does she?
I think Lissa looks up and is like, "Oh yes, I had an idea actually. I was thinking of tennis, but croquet would be excellent, I suppose. High tea, perhaps. Just a little something for all of us. It'd be maybe invite a few people."
Yeah.
Is that what you had in mind, Yamini?
My brow wrinkled for half a second as I realized that somebody's trying to muscle in, and then it smooths away because, of course, Discord is incredibly impolite. And I will say, croquet and high tea. Oh, that sounds really just the thing, doesn't it, Bertold?
Okay, so this is where your move triggers. So roll plus hero, and we will see what happens. And then we have sort of started to resolve Lissa's move as well, but let's begin here.
Yeah, so I roll 2d6 plus 1 as my hero's plus 1.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I have rolled a 3, which is 2 1s plus 1.
Lovely. So, on a miss, the host would love to come, but is occupied by another PC scheme at the moment. Name who has the host's attention, for better or worse. We'll have to resolve this situation. So I think
he likes
he
IT so much he won't even come play croquet with me?
Yes. I think he goes, tea. Oh, I do love tea. Yes, hi, tea. Oh, tell me more. And he turns towards Lissa's idea. Shall we have a tea party like in the old days? Oh, but there would need to be some sort of event or amusement, he says, gesturing, having completely forgotten that croquet was how this started.
I just said.
Now I think he turns to Lissa and has her suggest some sort of event or amusement. And
I am shooting daggers at you with my eyes, which may have been something I used to be able to do.
And what do you suggest?
Oh well, my family, have the vineyards, and well, we've actually been working on a little something that I would love to present. I just need, say, a couple of people to go down to Barrow Cleft and collect the goods. The bottling is almost over, so I've got exclusive access, and maybe I can make something. I know a lot of different recipes. My father, of course, has had me well educated growing up.
Ah, a tasting. No. I don't normally drink wine. He's and go ahead and roll with poet, Salty, and let's see how this suggestion lands. So you're planning to show off your sommelier and cooking skills?
That's a 5.
Yes, this is what you deserve.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So, on a miss, the host isn't so enthusiastic. You may go ahead with the event, but no one is obliged to attend. So, I think what is happening here is that we learned that he's mercurial, right? So he likes the idea of a wine tasting, and he's embroiled in Lister's scheme, but he will be completely unhelpful. So, basically. He likes this idea, but he's not going to make it the big event that Lissa was hoping for either. And so he says, yes, delightful. Please have your people go down and make all the necessary arrangements. And, Doctor, you haven't said anything. Do you not like wine? And I think there are two doctors, so of course Alberti is about to interrupt you, but I think Alberti says, "Like wine, plain, thank you." And then he turns to Dr. Papadopoulos.
And I wipe my mouth majestically with slowness. And then I turn like a glacier towards him, and I say, "Oh, thank you for inquiring after me, your lordship. I simply wish to let the youngsters have their say first. Wine. I used to love wine. I used to love the Irvian Reds, the Black Veil Blacks, and then he spends, I think, 15 seconds talking about various kinds of wines he likes.
And Scurlock just nods along because no one else has managed to grab his attention, so now it's on you for some reason.
And then I just say, but not since the liver problems. I do suffer any. I am glad that the other doctor, and I incline my head by like 1 degree towards him. Still has the vigor and youth to drink, and I wish him well. In fact, I am aware that he uses this capacity to his fullest extent. But I am listening. But I
hate that this man has proved the most captivating of Scurlock's attention. If I could strangle him, I would.
Go on.
But I have heard with some concern these plans, these schemes, if I may, if no one objects to me using the term, and he gives.
I will gasp audibly.
It should be a small smile, but you can't see it because of his gigantic mustache. So he just looks sad still. And then he just says, "But, my lord, can such ideas about high tea and croquet be advanced when we are plagued, if I may," and his voice rises by 3 decibels, "plagued by this incessant floodings across the courtyards and even in our rooms? Or has no one else found themselves waking up suddenly with water black as the void sea up to the level of their mattresses?"
You're complaining about the flooding that happens in Scurlock Manor? Okay.
Yeah, so well, what he thinks is happening is that what he thinks is happening is that there's constant rains and floods of void sea water that suddenly just appear out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very good, because it's a weird fucked up magical mansion. Yes,
yeah. Or I may just be, I don't know, maybe I wet the bed. I don't know, something happened.
Yes, you were complaining about the water anyway. We know that.
Yes.
So roll plus hero, and let's see if the host. It would be very fun if you were the one to succeed here.
Mm-hmm. I thought of a few different things I could be complaining about. At one point, I was but what about the werewolf or something? But I wanted it to be Setara's fault.
Yep.
Roll plus hero. That's +1.
Yep.
Hey, it's a 7. Which is better than
okay, so on a hit, the host hears you and agrees something ought to be done. Name one other PC that you think would be equipped to assist you. They are obliged to help. So...
They're such a young avid, exciting debutante.
Young lady. Perhaps this matter of the water could be something that you need to consider as well. Particularly if you wish to bring expensive vines into the house. Because as I conclusively proved in my osmosis experimentations with Void Sea, certain liquids, particularly alcoholic, react quite badly and quite profoundly to Void Sea exposure.
Oh, yes, I do hate my drinks diluted. Please, Miss Brokala, assist the doctor in finding the source of these incessant floodings. They are probably due to a... And then he's about to say, spell or something, but he realizes that he has to, keep his vampire identity a secret. So he says, a pipe, a leaky pipe. No doubt.
And Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos is fully only asking for Lissa's company because, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to do anything, but I think he just would prefer the company of a pretty young woman. That's all.
Since you are the only one who's since you are the only one who succeeded, your goal now is to secure what resources you'll need to address the problem and think about your proposed solution.
Yes.
And the other people mainly have to deal with the obstacles to their own plans, which is to say, Lissa's wine party disrupting the croquet, and Lissa being unable to arrange the wine party because she's been ordered to find a leaky pipe. So... But Dr. Papadopoulos has the initiative, and so I think Lord Scurlock finishes... he doesn't finish his breakfast, he's been looking at it. Igor's been holding it this whole time, and he says to Igor, dismissed. And he stands up, And he says, "If anyone needs me, I shall be out in the court practicing my backhand." And he quietly drifts off. And Professor Alexander says, "Well, I for one think this pipe matter is quite mysterious. Now, you may have done some papers on osmosis, Dr. Papadopoulos, but I happen to have a degree in the practical sciences of plumbing and electroplasmics. Perhaps I can be of some assistance, although it does sound awfully fishy to me."
Yes, you're quite right. What was their first name?
Alberti.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, you are quite right, Alberti. It may be necessary at some point in our investigations to engage the expertise of a tradesman, and on such occasion we shall know where to find one. Take this.
If you have no need of me at present, tell me when you find the pipe and I shall apply my PhD in plumbing to it. But for now, I think croquet sounds delightful. And he turns to Yamani, and you have gotten
I'll
the
take
wrong
all the help I
person's
can get.
attention.
But I'll take all the help I can get. So I will look at Alberti and I will say, I know a third person, Doctor, who might join us in this scheme. Tell me, you are interested in fluid dynamics, are you not?
Always.
Good. I think there is indeed somebody who could help us. Indeed. And then I'm gonna, so this playing card, is it currently floating or is it just lying down on the table?
It's just kind of lying there. It has not yet spoken, but it is there.
Yeah. So I will say, Jack, would you like to play croquet?
What? Me? Oh, I almost never get asked about this sort of thing. Yes, well, I think I should. Only the matter is, well, with a little bit of basic telekinesis, it shan't be a problem. Shall I sing a song and have the croquet clubs march outside? That's usually the expedient.
That would be delightful.
Ah, very well. And he starts to chant some deep eldritch arcane magic because
it sounds so normal and fine. And I'm hoping everybody except Jack and me are forced to leave by the weird eldritch chanting.
Well,
because I would like a word with Jack. And Alberti. Yes, well, I mean, I don't mind if Alberti follows the croquet clubs out. But yeah.
No, Alberti will be staying. You have failed your role, so you start out in a bad position. Alberti is still here. So it will be you, Alberti, and the playing card. And I guess we'll start by staying on this scene, and then we'll move on to the Doctor and Lissa.
This is great in that case.
Yes.
Because I will now have to be circumspect.
Yes, everyone else vacates the room.
I ask Lissa to hold my arm because I can't support myself as I used to.
Yes, of course, Doctor.
What a sweet young woman.
Very good. And so we will return to the two of you, but for now, let us see Yamani have a conversation with Jack and Alberti.
Yeah. So I'm going to look at Jack as it starts chanting, and I'm going to say, Jack, tell me, do you remember... And then, if this was an Indian soap opera, what I'm about to do would be followed by several smash cuts, the camera, zooming into me, and so on, right?
Yes.
And I would say, do you remember the vault of Xanathrathris?
Yeah, I think we see this playing card spin excitedly, and when it comes up, it's the other face that is up, because, of course, Jack has two faces.
Correct.
So the other face is up, and says... The vault! Why, yes, darling, of course I remember the vault. This is the seductive face.
Yes, yeah.
Jack has a cheerful and a seductive face.
Yeah. And you remember that poor adventurer that Bertold left behind in the vault?
Yes. With the cask? Oh, absolutely.
And then I'm just going to lean in and I'm going to say, now that I've made it out, if you don't help me get Bertold to be my friend again, I will lock you in a cask.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, I think that it sounds like you're challenging someone.
Yes.
It sounds like this is the action you're taking, which means you roll with hero.
Yeah, which is +1 for me again.
Uh-huh.
And the reason, of course, that I'm they them is that I died in that task, and then my ghost somehow escaped, and then possessed this body. And we are now a melange.
Gee, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. That's why I'm an old friend of Lord Scurlock. What kind of old friend would Lord Scurlock have, if not like a weird ghost, right?
Okay, so you're actually a possessor ghost. Lovely.
Correct. But I have no real powers apart from sexy voice. This is my problem. And also, this person, Pritam, when I possessed them, was also not very useful in helping me. But, whatever.
Yes.
So roll plus hero.
Yep.
7.
A 7. So, choose one. Either you are the victor, or you don't make enemies or rivals.
Oh, come on. I think I gotta make an enemy, and I wonder even if it's more interesting if the enemy isn't the Jack, who is apparently 2 souls trapped in a card.
Playing card. Yes.
Professor,
I think it's the professor. Who, let's be clear here. You don't require a rival and a friend. You introduce like a problem, right? So Alberti is not necessarily the rival of Papadopoulos, just an obstacle.
Yeah.
But now he's a rival of you. So Alberti looks at this, melts away from the scene, saying like, oh dear, how positively rude. I must tell Dr. Papadopoulos. He's going to go off and tell Dr. Papadopoulos that you are threatening the cards. Whereas Jack just spins back.
Sorry, Dr. Alberti, she always just struck me as a tattletale. I'm glad I'm not playing croquet with her.
Yes. So you are not playing croquet with this person. You are now Dr. Alexander's rival. But Jack spins back up to his cheerful face and says, oh, well, I wouldn't want that, certainly. Okay, sure. I'll be of as much help as I possibly can in the croquet match. I was actually in the middle of it. Would you let me resume chanting? And we good? We're good. Yeah. Listen, I don't want to mess with any of yourselves, and that's true for all of myselves, I think. Hope. I mean both. Both of myselves. Definitely, there's no back to this card. Anyway, chanting. And you have bested.
We should cut that. I think that is the best cut. Yeah.
Yes. And meanwhile, Dr. Papadopoulos, where are you going to try to locate the source of the water? As you have shanghaied Lisa along.
Yeah.
Who still has her own scheme to work on, by the way, because she has to get the wine here somehow.
So it's like this. Once Dr. Papadopoulos turned down the help of Dr. Alberti Alexander, because it's Dr. Alberti Alexander. But also, what they were saying was exactly right. We need to start with, like, we need someone who knows their way around the plumbing, obviously.
I mean, yes, Igor, no? He'd be helpful. I do need to kind of, she unpicks your hand from her arm. I do need to attend to a couple of things myself. I'd really appreciate your help after you can find the source of the leak.
My dear, are you abandoning me?
No, of course not. Of course not.
I understand that the company of one such as myself is not what the young and modish set prize these days. I remember myself being young and flighty and not valuing the company of my elders. And where are they all gone now? Dust and ash in the crematorium. And I lie awake, wishing I could tell my dear papa one more time that I respected him.
There is a move to open your heart to another. Do you think that you're triggering this move?
Well, I'm shamelessly manipulating them, but yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Get another's empathy is how it's formulated, which I think you're definitely doing. So roll poet, the stat for emotions and words. And Salty, you are unfortunately being the target here.
Hey!
I hate this man.
Can you
I'm enjoying
interfere in
myself.
this game?
Sorry?
I can
you
interfere.
in this game?
You can interfere by spending hospitality. You have 2, and you can spend them after the roll. So
Okay, that's good.
There's no point. I have to. I have to be nice to you.
Yeah.
Why are you rolling so well? This is illegal.
Okay, yes. Yeah, on a 10 plus, you just are helpful to the scheme, so you can't get away for now.
So how does it look when you change your mind?
It's a grandpa. Of course. Oh, of course, grandpa. And you're like, but now let's find the leak, shall we? I think I know this place quite well. I've been here for a while, and my father always used to bring me here for business meetings and such. So I believe if we just go down into the basement, that's where all of the wet things are kept.
We should go down into the basement.
Oh, do you need a coat? Do you need a coat, Doctor? It'll get quite chilly down there.
Yes, I would like a coat. Thank you, my dear. And he seems quite gratified by this. But then he says, "We should go down into the basement where it is quite dank and chilly. But it's no job for distinguished academics such as myself and a well-brought-up young lady to be going around putting on their wading boots and sloshing around in what one hopes is not void seawater. Igor!
Yes? He says, being behind you.
Mm-hmm. Oh. And this doesn't surprise me at all, because I'm like, you call for the help shows up.
Mm-hmm.
But it surprises what? Lisa?
Definitely, yes. Oh, my apologies. Oh dear.
Yeah, Igor gives you a big, friendly smile.
Igor?
Yes. He is at the moment carrying the tennis equipment, I think, but he somehow found the time to teleport in here while he was doing it.
Igor, once you have a spare moment, please come and attend to us as we investigate this leak problem.
Yes, of course, as soon as I have a moment. And I don't think there's a role here because, I mean, it's his job. Yeah. He is the butler. But, it's not his job to find the leak. That's up to you.
Yeah.
So, but you can call him again, for sure.
Is it... Sorry, is it the case that Nestor is solving my high tea problem?
Well, I mean, he wants attention. He wants to stop this leak problem. But, he's happy to help someone else a little bit.
Yeah, but not before the leak is solved. So maybe all I need to do is make the leak worse.
Yes. Okay. I just decided, by the way, that the tennis equipment Igor is carrying is obviously one of those cannons that fires tennis balls, because this is how Scurlock is practicing. And it's like a runic tennis ball cannon, so it's like engraved with magical runes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not my field, so I don't care.
Yeah.
But, Salty, I have, obviously in character, I have kind of like shanghaied you and like prevented you from pursuing your thing, but like, feel free to take spotlight and so on.
That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can take spotlight. You can also try to wiggle out. It's just...
I can.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't you want to go into the basement with the boring old man?
Maybe I do want to go into the basement with the boring old man, You don't know me.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know Lissa.
I think the dice have told us that this is happening.
I have to.
Yeah.
The dice you must.
Okay, tell you what. Yeah. As we are waiting for Igor to join us and also, I don't know, heading to get this coat and so on. And now that I have like secured your company and you're not leaving, I think I'd be like, please tell me about this quaint plan you have for tea, my dear.
It's a little bit silly. It's nothing. I'm sure that you would be interested in, Doctor. With all of your
frivolity is the privilege of the youth.
Oh yes. So I don't think it's nothing. It's just just a silly little thing that I thought would be fun to do. It would be very helpful. And she kind of at this very carefully brushes away a tear. I just thought it'd be nice to do something to perk up you and the Lord Scurlock, and maybe make my mark. She kind of sniffs. She's like, "Yes."
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear.
Sad.
So I think you are trying to win empathy now, which means that this move triggers. And I should say this about this game: the move to communicate is not optional. Like, you roll not to misunderstand people, because this is a farce. So
okay.
I'm looking forward.
Communication is not optional.
Yes.
I'm looking forward.
Uh-huh.
An 8. That's good.
An 8.
Yeah.
So they empathize with you, but if they are a PC, they choose. So either you speak too plainly, and it is scandalous, or reveal one secret, or they take it too far and overreact. So how this works is, Nestor, you choose whether you want to learn a secret about Lissa, whether you want Lissa to become scandalized, or whether you overreact. But in either case, you are empathetic.
I think I'm going to overreact, because I think that's the funniest bit.
Yep.
So I think I'll be like, oh. And I think, like, he is, as soon as he sees the tear, he kind of like quivers, his own big sad eyes kind of like well up as well. And he takes out the handkerchief that he used to kind of like dab away the mushroom soup, and he hands it to you. And then he takes out another handkerchief for himself, for his own eyes. Notice that he gave you the one that he smeared the soup on. And then
does it
still
smell like mushroom soup?
Unfortunately, yes.
Uh-huh.
And then he just says, "That is most kind, my dear. It has been a long time since anyone thought to arrange something for my entertainment. But I must reiterate the point that I raised earlier. My body can no longer handle alcohol, not even simple wines. But it is called high tea, is it not? Perhaps we can, and I know that Lord Scurlock himself is also a fan of that Iruvian beverage. Perhaps I know a thing or two about tea. If you wish, I could accompany you afterwards, and we could pick out some good blends, they're called." So he's going to go with you and mansplain tea to you.
Excellent.
Lovely. Okay.
Mansplain the farming heiresses.
He's going to stop it being about wine and your special vintage and so on. It's going to be about the tea he picks. That's your high tea.
Fantastic. Well, you are still going into the basement, but I think the consequence of all of this is taking a lot of time. So
any scene involving this man will take a lot of time.
Yes. But let us cut back then to Yamani, who so you have an occult chanting playing card that is marching out the croquet set onto a lawn, which no one cares about because Lord Scurlock is practicing tennis on the good lawn. So you have been given the bad lawn, or well, you can claim it. Rather, no one's given you anything, but you can march it out onto, which is probably the front lawn, where like people in the street can see Scurlock Manor.
Unfortunately, it has struck me that I could make this happen on a nice lawn. Lord Scurlock may not take well to practicing as he is his backhand, and so I should do that. And so I think what I'll do, noticing that also Alberti has disappeared, the little tattletale. There is another friend of mine whom I might appeal to for support. And I don't think I know anything about her true being. I just know that she's there because I don't, she just seems cool. So I will try and find Aretes, who seems to live permanently in the room right next to Scurlock's.
Okay, Aratis, the Bohemian loud singer. So basically, the card is setting up the croquet. You're not going out on the lawn. You're going to find Aratis. Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
What I've realized is the croquet itself, the card will do that, but I need social capital. I need go to my right.
Excellent.
So what I
very good
to do is find Aretes, who's a cool lounge singer. I mean, if anyone can prove a more interesting conversational partner than that buffoon Kitiana Robespierre, it must be Aretes.
This is definitely not a demon of water.
Yes,
no,
definitely not a demon of water.
Demons don't exist.
Yes.
I'm a ghost. I can know these things.
Yes. So you find Aratis, who I have decided arbitrarily. Two things about them: they have a big smoking pipe, and they are at the moment. Oh, it's a he. Yes, we have pronouns for Aratis. So yes, he, him.
Yes.
He is a guy with a big smoking pipe who is currently looking over some sheet music for, and we the audience know this, but the players don't know this, a song about summoning lots of seawater. Because,
yes,
water demon and all. So Aratis. Yeah, go on.
I'm gone.
You step into the room, and this is how you find Aratis.
Great. I think the first difference is that, unlike the Eldritch chanting of this card, which is not very pleasant to the ear, this is a beautiful song. This, Ella Fitzgerald, scat to Max the Knife, right? Oh my god, this is so good. And I definitely don't feel anything about this. Why would I? So I come in and I say,
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Ari. Am I interrupting something?
No, nothing important. I'm just practicing my singing.
It's delightful singing, I must say. And I think around Aretes, I'm much less self-possessed and drolly, right? I'm no, but this is a cool person. I want them to like me.
Yeah.
And so I think I'll say, I was wondering, might I tempt you to the lawn for a game of croquet?
What a weird thing to say to a person in the middle of practice. But sure.
I want to be clear. I have no options, and I have run out of friends. So what would you have me do?
Yes, I think you're just asking openly. So once again, we are rolling with Poet.
Yeah.
And we'll see if he sympathizes with you. I think you're trying to get his attention and empathy. So let's see how this goes.
Very good. I am terrible at this. So
very good. You maybe should be trying to do things more subtly, but you just asked him, so here we are.
And
no
in
one is
fact,
here to
it is the
-1.
You. Yeah.
Yes. So on a 6-, they misunderstand your intentions as uncharitably as possible.
Oh no! He didn't like his singer. That's why I want him to play croquet with me.
Yes. Or maybe he understands that you. Maybe he thinks that you understand what he's really doing.
Yeah, I think that's the funnier interpretation. You're correct, actually. Because he was like,
"Oh shit! He thinks I'm smart, which I am not."
Yes. So he says, "Oh, you think you're clever, pulling me away from my notes and from my song when I'm so close to completion? Who put you up to this? It's the doctor, isn't it?"
Huh? And then I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna be like, that Papadopoulos. He's incredibly annoying, isn't he? This morning I was talking and he just cut me off in the most rude way.
Yes. So you have become a pawn in his games. I despise that. He turns around dramatically.
No, that's not that's not what I meant. I just get the door shut on my face.
Yeah, he slams it
you
shut.
can think something like that. It just seems to me that, like, yeah.
And I think we hear inside he intensifies the chanting, and he is going to make this problem worse. And so we cut back to the basement.
I do again want to say. Sorry, I think the delay's still there, so sorry, Klow, for this thing. But the second thing is, by failing miserably at this, I have only ensured even more that Nestor's problem was.
Yeah, it's our problem.
So
our problem.
So, it's a big
no one
problem
wants to
now,
go to that. No one wants to, like, I don't know, water all the way up to their bed sheets.
So
only to the bottom of the legs, surely.
Yes. So there are three things going on in the basement. The first is that you descend into the basement in search of the leak, and Lyssa, you will realize that Lord Scurlock in fact has an impressive wine cellar that he just forgot about. And so there's plenty of wine down here that you can just pass off as your own, easily. It's in racks and walls, it's in big barrels. He has an extensive collection. There are, however, two problems. One of them is that it appears to be raining indoors, because Aratis is casting a spell. So the wine cellar is now slowly flooding, as there is, like, rain dripping down from the ceiling in multitudes with no apparent source. And the other problem is that Dr. Alexander is here, having gone to find you. So he comes down after you.
Alexander, Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor.
Yes.
Doctor. Doctor.
Thank you. Very alarming. Very alarming. I'm afraid Dr. Papadopoulos and I need to have a conference about this because, you see, I suspect through my advanced degree in necroplumbing that Yamani may, in fact, be some kind of a ghost. I don't know what
plumbing ghost.
Yes.
Yeah. I think. Do you want to respond or should I? Because I think I'm going to slowly prepare one.
Listen, you could absolutely speak here and try to make an opportunity of it.
So you're saying that Yamani is responsible for this?
I
Doctor.
certainly suspect there's electroplasmic activity afoot, or perhaps even electroplumbing, given the situation.
Oh, well, they haven't attempted to rip my face off or eat my soul alive, so surely not a ghost.
Then perhaps some sort of other arcane entity. Dr. Alexander taps his face cautiously.
Well, because it's him. And I don't know. I just don't like him, you know? I think I'll just say, "Oh, Alexander, why do you show such prejudice to ghosts when you are not so far away from becoming one yourself soon?"
Oh my god.
Yes.
I say to someone clearly 20 years younger than me.
Yes. Yes, about that, is the cellar we're standing in slowly flooding? In fact, it's quite rapidly flooding, I think. He's just noticed this.
And like I leap up athletically. My dear, quick, come, save yourself. Alexander, do something. You're a plumber.
Yes, very good. So, yes, water is pouring into the room, and I think, Lyssa, here is an opportunity for you. Both doctors are quite distracted. What do you do?
I think what Lyssa is going to do is go, I'll find the tools or something. You quench the leak as soon as possible. I'll find somebody who can do something about this. Some sort of arcane know-it-all or what have you.
Igor!
Igor? She's going to rush away.
Yes. As you rush away, Igor will of course appear because that's what he does. So, Lisa, I think that you're trying to do something underhanded here, which is extract yourself from the situation, right?
Yep.
So I think there's a roll which is with spy.
It's fun. That's a 7. Too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to try to interfere, but like you said it, nah. I have prevented you from doing what you want long enough.
So, on a 7 to 9, you either succeed or no one's the wiser. Your choice. Which means basically you slip away, but it's obvious that you're slipping away, or you don't slip away from the situation entirely, but no one suspects you of anything.
I think I'm going to slip away.
Yes.
I've made my excuses.
Yes, in which case I think the person who's suspicious is Igor, actually, because it makes perfect sense. You were running off to get help, and then he appears, and then you run off anyway. And, like, the doctors are distracted, but he definitely noticed that you were up to something. So, you now have a problem with Igor. But he appears, as he was summoned, and he, of course, appears in this room, which is flooding with indoor rain, wearing, of course, welly boots, a sou'wester, and an umbrella. And he says, yes?
Igor! Everything's flooding!
Yes, quite rainy, isn't it?
Dash it, Igor! Rain is meant to be outside the house. I have proven this in my Void Sea Thermodynamics publications. I shall have to send you a copy. Young people don't read as much as they used to. And he kind of trails off.
Yeah, Igor reaches into his pocket and pulls out what he expects to be Jack, but it's just a different playing card. And he says, oh, blast it. Someone's made off with Jack. I need his magic against this. Do you know where he went?
You know, if it was a different character, I'd just say someone jacked off, but that's not what he would say. But I wanted everyone. Yes, I wanted everyone to know. I wanted everyone to hear it.
Yes.
Nevertheless, out of character. Yes, I think I'm going to be like. I'm going to just ignore this bit about Jack because I can't see why Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos would care about the fate of this playing card. Maybe he's never even noticed this playing card. I think
my reasoning here is mostly that the playing card is the only person we've established outside of Scurlock who can actually do magic.
Yeah.
So,
if he was an actual intelligent human being, he would care, but he's not. So I think he'll just say, Igor, this is no time for you. Gambling, for whist, or even other games such as backgammon, which I favor.
Casino.
What?
No, never mind.
Was there a joke about casino?
No. There is a game called Casino, which is where the word casino comes from.
I see. I see. I think Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos just says, well, it seems that it's up to the three of us with my wisdom and experience, Alberti and his qualifications as a plumber, and Igor, you are also here. We can, surely between the three of us men, can put this together.
Yeah, and I think because this is just like a temporary... Actually, no, it isn't. This is like Aratis is trying to cast spells to fuck with you specifically. So I guess the rain will actually go on. And there is no move in this game to actually solve problems. There are only moves to communicate.
There's no move in this game to solve problems. What a beautiful game.
Okay, how about this? We haven't actually... I mean, Dr. Nestor Papadopoulos, he clearly writes a bunch of bullshit about like... Void Sea and like, and so on. But I think he does know some rituals and so on. So I think I'm going to try to challenge someone, which is Aratis.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, you can have a social interaction with Aratis, even though you don't know it's Aratis. That is allowed by the rules. So you can attempt an invocation, surely. So roll with hero to confront Aratis.
Yes, alongside my well, I was going to say my friends, but they're my friends. Oh.
So it's a miss. You lose the challenge. So, and I think
this is because Aratis He's too good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
please go on.
I think the most humiliating way for you to lose the challenge is that like you perform this like calculations and ritual and you write down on a piece of paper a spell, and then Dr. Alexander goes, "Oh, actually, you've got a grammatical error in paragraph 2."
No,
Yes, very good.
no, Alberti, I am using High Hadrati, which has a different grammar than what you're used to. And then I think like the water just washes the paper away.
Yeah. And I think this wine cellar is by now completely flooding. I think you have lost this situation. So there is a wine cellar, but it is very shortly going to be completely flooded.
Okay.
You have at least deduced that the source of the problem is arcane and not plumbing. So
Mhm.
you know, yay. Meanwhile, let's cut to Lissa though, who was sneaking away because like the wine cellar is flooding and basically the entire basement is flooding. Where are you going?
Oh, I was going to speak to Aratis as well.
Oh, so you're just fucking off from the wine cellar and finding the lounge singer.
Yes, you know,
Uh-huh.
he might be helpful here. He's got connections. He knows Scurlock.
Yeah, very
Oh.
good. So you're going to run into Yamani then, who is outside of this room, I
Oh.
think, because it's fun to have PCs run into each other. So
Yeah, I'm in here.
Yeah.
Hi, hello. How goes your day today?
Ah, yes. Young, what was your name? Something irrelevant, no? Lissa?
Well, this
Well,
is just
meanwhile,
having a good time.
meanwhile, you can hear in the background, I think, like this singing building up to like an arcane chant now, but it's still very pretty singing
Yeah.
coming from like
Yeah,
the
this
shut
is
door.
really good.
Oh, were you listening to Aratis's singing as well? He's such a
Yes,
talent.
Quite beautiful.
He's such a talent.
He really is. And so difficult to appreciate, don't you agree?
Oh no, in my experience, he's always been very helpful to me.
Oh,
Very
has
lovely,
he?
very lovely. Yes.
I see. Lovely. Well, if I recall, you had some manner of party that you intended. A party that
Yes.
you advocated over my capital idea to help our host.
I am so sorry. Did I steal your fun? What can I do anything to make it up to you?
As it happens, you
I
can.
don't mean to intrude. It's just why I thought that this would ingratiate you with the Lord Scurlock. After all, he's got quite a wine cellar down there, and of course he's forgotten about it. You might be able to remind him of the good old days as a friend.
I see. That's what you thought, did you? Indeed.
Oh, I didn't mean to assume.
You are no. Well, perhaps you should stop assuming then. For you seem to be exceedingly poor at it. If you truly do wish to help me, there is a manner in which you can do this. Why don't you go and find out what Jack is doing with the croquet? Because he's under strict instructions to ensure that it is set up just in the way that they used to back in Vanathathras.
Oh, back before the Unity War, do you mean?
This is where I will
Yes,
introduce
before
that
the
Lissa is
Unity
unfortunately-
War, yes.
Yes. Lissa is unfortunately being pursued by Igor, who is investigating this. So at this moment, Igor appears and goes, "Ah, so you're responsible for the hijacking," he says, and then snickers to himself for the pun.
Oh, excellent. Very good, Igor. That's an excellent pun.
I require him back.
Responsible?
The basement is... Yeah. I require him back. The basement is flooding. Garden, you said? Yes. And unless you do anything,
Well,
Igor is going to just go and snatch away Jack.
I'm 1,000,000,000% going to do something. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look Igor straight in the eye, and I will say, now, of course, I cannot deny you anything, Igor. I am your servant, as you are Scurlock's. But you would be doing me a great favor if, before you snatched him back, you ensured that the croquet game was set up exactly like the vault in Vanithathras. And again, this is just me looking at him and saying, you know me, and I know you, so you can do what I tell you to, or I will do something. What? I don't know.
Yeah, you're challenging him again. You're being quite threatening, I think. So challenge him with hero, and let's see if you come out the victor and you get what you want. And Lissa's here, so may assist or interfere.
Oh, for crying out! This is horrific every time.
Yeah.
So.
Walters of Vanithathras is what I need to bring up.
On a 10+, you are the victor and you don't make enemies. So Igor just grunts and he says, "Very well," and he withdraws. And so yes, the game of croquet will be arranged.
Excellent.
And
in that case,
Lissa,
what I'm going to do is look at Lissa and say, now that that's been dealt with, you may, if you like, beg me for my assistance.
Wow. What absolute victory.
Yeah, I'm not a nice person, and like several hundred years in a cask did not help.
Yes. Just to keep NPCs available for Lissa to play with and against here, I think Aratis is done singing and can be once more pulled into the scene if you wish, Lissa.
Yes. Yeah.
The Brocal family are not in the business of begging, and she kind of straightens up. We're not in the business of begging. My father will be hearing about this. And I really would love for you to be at the party tonight. After, of course, your croquet. I believe Lord Scurlock is out on the tennis courts. And she kind of like pats you on the hand. She's like, I've got business now, but I appreciate what you said. Really. We can open negotiations at a later time.
I'm always available to be negotiated with. If
no, you don't really have much else to do you?
They should
no, I do not work for a living.
Friends,
unlike some others I know.
You should rename this game to Assholes in a Rich Guy's House.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not done sniping.
Yeah.
No, there isn't. I'm just sniping at this young, you know what. I'll just say, I don't work for a living, I'm afraid. Like some people and their fathers.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what tree.
Because it's actually very rude to comment on one's parentage, I guess, but also you deserved it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So we're having a very standoffish moment, and I think...
So this is the moment that Aratis should show up.
Yes, and I think Lissa is pushing past to go talk to Aratis, right? I think that's how it was framed.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Lissa?
Yes.
Yeah. So you move past into the room where Aratis is looking over the sheet music. And he looks up and he says, "Oh." And he looks at Lissa and he has probably no opinion on Lissa whatsoever. He expected Yamani or someone else to bother him. And then he just looks kind of confused.
I just wanted to say you're singing so beautiful, so touching. I was just wondering, would you mind singing at my party tonight?
Oh, you sneaky little bitch.
Uh-huh. Well, it's your call whether you're opening your heart to Aratis, which is one possible take on this, or whether you're doing something sneaky and underhanded behind Yamani's back. You can frame it either way you like.
I'd like to frame it that Lissa's being legitimate. She does legitimately like his singing.
Okay, then roll with poet and just open your heart to him and
yes, so
how it goes.
It's just everyone here's been difficult with me, and Oh, and it's a fucking 4. So yeah, this is great. I'm having such a good time. I have contingencies. Don't worry.
I do feel bad about this, but however, they misunderstand your intentions as uncharitably as possible. So I think it's just funnier if he thinks everyone is just Papadopoulos' pawns for some reason.
Yep.
He was like, "Oh, you want me to be at the party tonight, do you? What is he hiding, the doctor? Where will he be?"
At the party, of course. At the party.
A double bluff, or perhaps a triple bluff?
What?
Yes, the pieces are falling into place. I will be there. Or not. But I will, or not. Maybe. See.
Oh, God.
And Aratis backs out of the room, embroiled in his 4D chess match with Dr. Papadopoulos.
Dr. Papadopoulos, on the other hand, is actually playing croquet, so...
I'm drowning in a basement. What are you talking about?
Oh, Olympic swimming. My bad. That's what it was.
Synchronized swimming.
Yes.
That actually gives me a good idea. But we'll get to it.
Yes, I think we're cutting back. We should move on to the high tea movement, like the mid game. I think we're there.
Yes.
So, like we have our setups mostly in place, I think. But let's see you get out of the flooded basement. I think the main consequences with flooding is that you have lost access to the basement and all of the things in it because, well, Aratis has now flooded it.
So we were in the basement and then it started flooding and now we're up to our necks in water, I guess.
Yes.
Very rapidly.
Pretty much. Like you can swim out. This is a rather incompetent demon, I guess, because he's attempting to drown you very slowly.
I think
who knows why demons do things, really.
Yes.
I think I'll look to Alberti and I'll say, Alberti, allow me to demonstrate to you why I, in my youth, was the all-Acheros river swimming champion from the years 843 to 849, consecutively, barring 847, in which I came down with a stomach flu and could not compete. And I'm just going. Yes. And I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to outswim him because he is one of the reasons he's jacked as hell is that he's a swimming champion.
Okay. Yes. I was about to say I've never really done sports. I was too busy with my PhD in lifting. But
Plumbing requires a lot of strength.
Them pipes, working on them pipes all night.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to try to outswim.
You're going to challenge him for no reason. Very good.
And Igor's just next to us. I think he just pulled out, I don't know, an inflatable dinghy from his overcoat. It's like, at least.
Let's see this roll.
Okay,
so it's an 8. You choose. You are the victor. You don't make enemies or rivals. I think it's funnier if you choose you don't make enemies or rivals, but it's your call.
I think I leap into the water and then I vanish.
Okay.
And then I kind of like bob up like 6 seconds later from like the other opposite end, like instead of the stairs. I was like, help! Alberti! Eagle!
And they will rescue you and drag you bedraggled out of the basement.
Oh, but I gave a good showing, didn't I, Alberti?
Yes, that was magnificent. You really need to teach me about applied swimology. I only have a master's in that. He says.
Swimology.
Yes. Alberti just has degrees in everything. This is just Alberti.
Yeah.
I am happy to teach you all that I know, and it was so considerate of that lovely young lady to bring me this coat. I wrap it around.
Yeah.
It's such a shame that she, like so many in her generation, immediately went to pieces and ran away as soon as she was confronted with difficulty.
Oh my god.
Albertine nods. And sympathetically
I want to be
drags you
clear
to
that
tea.
Nestor is worse. Nestor is worse than Lissa or Yamini by a huge distance.
Also, I just love the scene that like Nestor's being dragged out, like wet, bedraggled, having almost drowned, and then Nestor goes like, "Well, I'd best get you to tea. It's almost time."
Heaven.
Oh, you can warm up near the fire.
Perhaps my
Yes.
constitution could stretch itself towards a small drop of brandy in tea.
Yes, Igor says like, "Yes, excellent. I'll get the," and then he looks down towards the flooded wine cellar, and he goes, "I'll get the,
He'll go to the
I'll
market.
get what's left over in the cupboard." Unclear why Scurlock has a demon in his house that floods his basement for shits and giggles, but here we are.
It's funny.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, you just said why. Very clearly, it's because it's funny.
I'm sure he knows exactly what's going on. He just thinks all of this is funny.
Yes. So, we gather now at high tea, and to just briefly narrate the scene, Scurlock is back from tennis practice. So he shows up again in his like he's wearing this grey suit with the comically big, wings around his head, right, like the typical vampire suit. And now he also has a sweatband on because he's been playing tennis.
Excellent.
And
Yes.
he's coming back from his practice going like, "Ah, yes, I do so admire a good workout." And since no one has gotten leverage on him, he's here with the annoying tennis pro.
Yeah.
So Kitiana Robespierre is on his arm as his like companion.
And she's stupidly hot. Disgusting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, she's stupidly hot and is also wearing a sweatband, of course. They're matching. It's like the ultimate
for
sign of a
fuck's sake.
budding relationship.
Yeah. Does she sell sports clothes? Is that one of her side gigs?
Yes, clearly. She's part of an MLM.
Oh fuck. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
She went and landed
And-
herself the biggest possible catch, except she doesn't know she's about to be caught.
Yes.
Incredible.
Monsters
It's for
loving
everyone.
monsters.
Yes. So Scurlock comes into the tea room where the doctor is being warmed up by the fireplace, where the other characters have rejoined them, and says, "Oh, so I really just have to sell to 3 of my friends. Intriguing." And
There's 3 friends right here. No! No!
and I love that an NPC has pulled the host into a fucking scheme this time.
Yeah, that's basically
But yes, he takes a
what
seat
happens
by the
when
long
nobody
end of the
rolls
table.
well.
Yes, where Kitiana is also allowed to sit down at the long end of the table, and then he looks over and he says, "Ah, Nestor, I take it you found the leak." Says the like doctor like a wet dog.
Oh, yes, I did find that.
Yes, and
Yes.
I'm triggering your move
Yes.
here. I think at high tea announced that you have found the most expedient solution, but it will require some minor sacrifices.
Okay, let's minor sacrifices, you say.
Mhm. Yes.
Mm.
So, if you can name something important another PC has and you will need, treat this move as an automatic hit. Otherwise, roll spy. So,
what do the others have? I mean,
Nothing.
Lysa doesn't actually have wine.
no.
Not anymore.
Things have just got poorly for Lissa throughout.
But what she does have is a father whom she's mentioned a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you could ask for him.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I think as soon as I'm done like chattering, and I've like had for a man who can't drink wine, I'm knocking this brandy back. Knocking it back all the way around the park, and I kind of like recover myself and say, "Oh yes, it's Quite a strange thing, your lordship. It's clearly some sort of arcane hex put upon your household. I could not identify the source, but it smacked of demons. Demons! It did. And while I was battling away with the help of Dr. Alexander and the lovely Miss Brokala, Miss Brokala mentioned that we were speaking about Miss Brokala's wines and the teas that she was serving for high tea, and she mentioned her father. And it seems to me that if we wish to banish this hex, then what we require, as I have argued in of volumes 1, 2, and 4 of hex banishing rituals and stratagems. And then he kind of like pauses as he tries to remember what he said.
Yes.
And then he just says, it will require the ingress of one who has not been present in the household while it was cursed.
Yeah.
And who better than dear Papa with his wines and teas?
Yes. Excellent. So, how this works is you automatically command Vaso because you have triggered another PC. However, each other player names how the costs will spiral out of control or require more resources you hadn't thought of. So, both Salty and Tree, you now mention how this is more expensive than what Dr. Papadopoulos thinks.
Yeah.
So this is an out-of-character thing. It's not your character saying it. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that took so long. I mean, it took a bit long because it's him, but also I was trying to figure out what the fuck I was going to say.
Yes.
No, very reasonable.
So,
never permit anybody to tell you it's not reasonable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, both of you name a spiraling cost. Let's start with Salty here because it's your dad.
My dad. Well, you've got to install a whole new coal-burning boiler and heating system because it was ruined.
Okay, yes, excellent. Barsha will, I guess, provide or try to provide.
The Blackblacks did coal and gas and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I have to provide this?
Yes.
Yeah.
You do.
Sure.
So, okay, you will need Bas, you will need a coal burner, and you will need what else, Tree?
Well, I think that the third thing that you'll need is Aretus's explicit cooperation. Because how the hell are you going to do this without the sea demon letting you?
Will implicit do?
No! No, it will not.
I had to try.
Yep. Very good. Excellent. So that's your move. So you start to think about this, and I think this finishes your high tea move. So it says, between high tea and evening, secure your resources and spiraling costs. Get the things you need to address the issue. And it is now clear to you what must be done, which is you need Baso Bast, Aratis, and a big-ass coal burner.
Oh, let's see.
And I think let us turn to Lissa, probably, as... let's have Kithiana speak, because she hasn't yet. So she says, like... So, oh my god, I heard you're having, like, a big party. That sounds so exciting. Can you tell me more about it? What are you gonna do? Oh, and who's gonna be there? It's all about who you know. By the way, if at the party you want to, like, sell some sweatbands, and she, like, points at herself. So, Lisa, you will move
everything about this woman.
When it's time to sit down for high tea, enthuse about how grand the event will be. Name specifics, then roll hero.
Oh yes, I'm going to ask the Red Sashes, the Sword Fighting Academy, to join us for a display. I understand they've recently arrived in Duskfall. They'll be very, very incredible to see. And of course, I would be more than happy to have such an esteemed saleswoman and athlete cell here as well. That would be, wonderful. Oh dear.
Aratis, the Red Sashes
tennis equipment.
Yeah.
And roll plus hero.
Yeah.
Were the Iruvian Reds that
that'll be
Scurlock was talking about the red sashes?
Maybe. Yes, maybe he drinks
Maybe,
from them sometimes.
I was talking about
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Maybe they are, yeah. Maybe they are.
Mm-hmm.
7. It's not too bad.
Okay, a success. So, let me check the move. And it says, on a hit, you hype up the party further. Every other PC that has promised to attend names something they expect from the party, and you must arrange it. So,
I've already said what I want.
which is,
Oh,
just
yeah.
for the record.
Do select the T's.
Select these red sashes. Because that's what Lisa promised. And what does Yamani expect from the party? You can say you will not attend. You are allowed to say you will not attend the party, and then you don't add anything. But
Yeah, no, but I better attend. Yeah. So I think as they say this, I'm gonna look, and this time much ably flutter my eyebrows. Eyebrows, wow, eyelids. No, you know what? Fuck it. It's weird. Yeah, I'm fluttering eyebrows. Take that,
Yes.
magazines. Unrealistic G standards. My eyebrows. I think what I'm gonna say to Lord Scurlock is, oh my lord, I'd heard that your basement was unfortunately flooded. It would be such a shame if the high tea that was to be arranged in your own mansion had no wine whatsoever. And I think if I arrive, what I expect is wine.
Okay.
I don't know where you're going to get this wine.
Yes. So, how this works is, you now have 3 promises. They are the red sashes, select teas, and wines. And just to flash forward here, when it comes time to the evening, you will roll your number of promises kept, Lisa. This is how it works. So,
This is fine.
Yes. So that's what you're setting yourself up to. But yeah, you rolled a 7 to 9, so you have the situation under control for now, kind of. And between high tea and evening, go about arranging everything you've promised, or at least
fantastic.
Some of it.
This is fine.
So this is your goal now. And lastly, let us see how Yamani's move triggers. And if you have the full cooperation of your tag-along and they don't outshine you, then the afternoon is a success. This is not the case, I think. So otherwise, roll hero.
Yeah. To be clear, my original tag-along was Professor Alexander, who tattled on me. My second candidate for tag-along was the Jack of Diamonds, whom I sent away from me. My third candidate for tag-along was Lissa. I told them to go fuck themselves.
Yes.
So yeah.
So
plus hero.
Plus hero, indeed.
That's a 10.
Actually, no, it's not. I'm going to make that a 9.
Okay.
Scandal!
Spend the hospitality to interfere. Very good.
Oh, yeah.
And how are you interfering? You don't have to say, but just out of interest. What is your...
I think Lissa leans forwards, and that's her own eyelashes. And at this point, her dress is very much a little bit slipping. Take it like neck out, presenting a far more appealing image.
Yes, so he is distracted. Lovely. So this is just a 9. What this means is that the host is overall pleased with the croquet. So I guess in this case, he will be intrigued and will actually go play croquet next. He goes like, yes, let's switch up the activities. You know, Kitiana was just telling me how other sports can be good for the tennis player, like ice hockey. That's an obscure reference right there. But anyway, he will be excited about it. However, because you didn't get a 10+, your tag-along steals the attention, which means Lissa in this case. I think we've had you cycle through tag-alongs, but I think because of her interference, it's now her. So, Lissa, if you go play croquet, you will automatically outshine Yamani in it. This is the consequence of the 7-9.
Yeah, I think I will.
So Lord Scurlock is overall pleased.
Don't go and play croquet! You hate croquet!
So, what the goal for Yamani now is, between high tea and evening, get rid of your tag-along as best you can, and make ready to impress the host as you attend the evening's activities, chancing a moment to speak with them. So your situation is, Scurlock is pleased with you, and tonight you'll have an opportunity to chat with him, but he's more interested in Lyssa at the moment. This is your 7-9, and this is your goal, to somehow get Lyssa away from Scurlock. Which may be easy because Lyssa actually has shit to do. So, yes. Okay. So, I think that wraps up the tea scene, which is usually quite brief. Yes. Lyssa is playing croquet with access to Scurlock and Kitiana, and other people who may or may not be there. And you, you were also there.
You don't. Yeah. You don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the focus of this scene.
Yes. Oh my god! I'm gonna make it rain literally on your parade. I'm gonna make this happen, and then we'll see who's glad.
So, Scurlock plays a couple of rounds. I'm now envisioning him playing croquet in his vampire cape and sweatband, and it's just a great picture.
Yes.
But anyway, yes. So he says I suppose what happens is, since the rules establish that Lyssa is outshining Yamani, Lyssa just happens to be good at croquet, and this is what gets his attention. So he says yes, you've clearly played this sport quite a lot before. Tell me, is your father handy with a mallet?
What a strange sentence.
And he menacingly raises the croquet mallet.
A mallet and a stake?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Buzz Vampire Hunter.
Yeah, I think we established.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. He taught me all he knows about the fine art of croquet. But of course, his true love is for tennis at the moment, as is fashionable. Yes.
Yeah.
It's your go, Lord Scurlock.
Ah, yes. I never took him for a cultured man. Once he sent some scoundrels to try and break into my mansion, and some manner of a score. How gauche.
Oh, how gauche. Indeed.
But I'm glad to see he has changed his ways.
Scurlock uses words like score?
Yes, in this case it does.
Yeah. I'm going to try and muscle in here if that's okay, because I feel like that's what Yamini needs to do.
I don't want to steal the scene, but I want to add one very important detail that I think will add a little bit of texture to this. I'm going to use the ability when you can spend a scandal. You can gain a scandal to introduce NPC to the household. So I think Bazobaz is on his way because I've invited him.
Very good.
Yes. Bazobaz, Vampire Hunter.
Oh shit!
Bazobaz, Vampire Hunter will arrive in this scene. Yeah, and the scandal. There you go.
Yes, I don't know he's a vampire hunter. I just know that he's someone who works with wine. Apparently, I don't know. He's a gentleman.
When you spend a scandal, you may also declare declare him a problem for someone particular. So,
or an asset to me.
Yes. Do you want him to be a problem to... I mean, he is an asset to you, that's already given, but since you're spending scandal, you can also make him a problem. So do you want him to be a problem to Lyssa or Yamani? I'm just...
Spicy. I feel like I have directly... I think I'm allowed to say both? Okay, then of course I'll say both.
Okay, yeah.
Also, Basso was introduced originally as a problem for Lyssa, so I think he's going to be a problem for Lyssa anyway, right? So
okay.
Yeah. Well, but I think if he's a problem for you, it's also because he's vampire hunter, but he hunts other things too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well.
Yes.
Okay. Let's continue on with the scene until Basso appears. But Yamani was butting in, I believe.
Yes. So as this score business is mentioned, and of course after Lord Scurlock's turn is my turn. So I will line up. I will grip the mallet, and I will say,
"This is some." I'm just gonna say this is some Mario Party shit.
Yes, yes, it is.
It's like tennis with Bowser, but with Lord Scurlock. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's terrible. I will say, Bertold, darling, you didn't tell me that somebody attempted to break into your house. Who would be silly enough to do that?
Oh, I don't quite know. They were insignificant to me. He says as he drops the mallet up on his shoulder.
And then I'm gonna look at Lissa. Tell me, Salty, what one thing about Lissa could I plausibly claim someone who tried to break into Lord Scurlock's house might have been spotted with?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, I think a favor of some sort of Lissa's.
Yeah.
I think she's given them a real flower, radiant flower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I will look at Lissa and I will say, Bertold, now if I remember correctly, you said that Lissa learned the mallet from their father? Now, far be it for me to make claims, but it does seem as if Lissa is also the kind of person who might have given a mallet-wielding scoundrel a flower, dainty as she is.
Okay, so it is your call, I think, again, whether you are challenging Lissa openly or whether you're thinking this is subtle.
Oh, I think this is subtle. I think,
okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I haven't rolled
depends
spy
maybe
yet,
on
so I want to
the
roll
spy,
spy.
so,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then let us say that you're rolling spy, and the way I'm framing it then is that this is something you might plausibly sneak past Lissa without her realizing the full implications thereof. But we'll see.
Yes. Great. 8, which means even if you interfere, I've still got a 7.
Yes.
Oh, wait,
However,
no, hold up. Wait, I can gain scandal, right?
You can gain scandal to apply a -2.
I may instead gain one scandal to give you a -2 if I do something outrageous.
Yes, this is
I'm going
allowed.
to gain a scandal to bring that down. I read the moves. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
What outrageous thing do you do, though? How do we explain that you gain a scandal from this?
Oh, I think Lissa takes the mallet from Yamini and goes, no, I think you actually find you need to do it this way, and I'm going to go do the ghost moment on you. So as in, I put my hands around yours and okay, so this way.
Shit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this throws off. This throws off Yamini off of this whole story, and I think Scurlock just gets distracted as he's wont to do. And so, how this move works is you are discovered, but he will not be by Scurlock because it doesn't make any sense. So he doesn't realize you're trying to manipulate him. He doesn't realize anything. What becomes obvious is to everyone else present, you are trying to pull a move against Lissa, and so you are discovered, and Lord Scurlock. I think this is where Bazo Bass enters. It just makes sense to me. So I think,
and I am now the person who maybe his daughter is hitting on. Well,
yes,
shit.
Exactly. So Bazo steps into. We specified this was the front courtyard, so people can actually just walk in. And so I think Bazo and a gang of thugs walk in and go Lissa, get away from that woman. This. What is going on here? What's all this? Where's Lord Scurlock? He says, and you realize that Scurlock got distracted and disappeared. Because he's a vampire, he can pull moves like that.
Tatiana had some more sweatpants to sell him.
Yeah, Father, did you bring the wine I asked for?
Okay.
This is steps back. Please, you know how important this is to me.
Okay, so let's just straight up. This game doesn't have flashbacks, but I feel like this is a flashback to open your heart to him and get his empathy and get him to give you the wine anyway. Right?
Please, Father, this is important to me.
Yes, I think you can roll with Poet to try to turn this problem around. But
Daddy,
if you miss,
please.
it will be bad.
Papa.
Papa, please.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is the time to roll a fucking 12, okay?
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
11.
There you go.
11,
Okay.
finally. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
your dad
Thank
just
you.
loves you.
Yes.
Dad,
I
So
hate.
they sympathize with you and are helpful to your scheme. So he says, like, of course, Pumpkin. I mean, what do you think? And he points over his shoulders and goes like, I brought Pickens. He's the sommelier of the Lampblacks. And Pickens,
The Lampblacks have a sommelier?
yes, they do.
Let me show you the image I usually go for Pickett because it's really, really funny.
Yes.
If this man's
Yep.
this man's the goddamn summary.
Yes. Yes. Good.
Incredible.
The guy.
Would you like to describe this image for everybody else?
I'm not eloquent enough.
It's a grumpy old man who looks very working class. And he says,
Yes. Correct.
He
Correct.
looks like either a postal worker or a coal miner. I can't tell.
yes. So I guess Pickett steps forth, second in command and sommelier of the Lampblacks, and he says, "Hey, don't worry about it. Right here, Gov. I got you some really nice Merlot."
oh, Pickett, you are just wonderful.
Yeah, it's full-bodied and nice. You'll like how it develops. Shall I pour you a glass?
Oh, I think Yamini would really appreciate, actually. She's, well, there's
I beg
just
your
so... Well, you said you wanted wine, didn't you?
Oh, right, love.
You
Right,
just.
I'll pick something out for you. And he,
Yeah. You
He's
just see
aggressive
Comedi's
in
face go, what the fuck? How did you do this?
This man has to use the phrase "proper pissed" at some point.
yes. Yes, absolutely. So Baso, who is still a problem, was like, anyway, darling, I've told you many times, Lord Scurlock is dangerous. All right, we wait. That haunting melody, boys. It's that demon.
demon?
Is singing on the upper floors. I guess Baso is just hyper competent in this version of the story.
Yeah, no, I
He's
think
just like,
this makes sense. Yeah.
he
Why,
goes like,
Lord Skull, did you hear that accusation? He claims there is a demon in your house.
Lord Scurlock is still not present. He has vanished. But instead
Yeah,
you hear
I know.
Igor behind you. Instead you hear Igor behind you going, shall I call for an exterminator?
What? Eagle, I did see that. Yes, yes.
That won't be necessary. We'll deal with this demon problem. Pickett, get out the demon bane wine.
Oh my god!
Is it a bottle that has like a skull and crossbones and then XX written on the label?
Yes, exactly. That's why.
Yes, exactly.
And so Pickett draws forth the demon bane wine. He goes, right, boss. And I think they are going to tell Alyssa to stay back and engage in demon hunting.
Cool, because that opens me up to fulfill a second promise.
Mm.
Yes. I guess you have the initiative. So what are you doing? They are heading off with the demon bane wine. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go and find Jack of Diamonds.
Okay,
and
yeah,
ask
Jack
it
of
to
Diamonds
get
is
in
just kind of
contact.
hanging out.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh Jack, it's going wonderfully all of a sudden.
Yes, isn't it?
Oh, how are
Lovely day.
you? How are you, Jack? Would you like to be taken outside today? I knew you were outside earlier, but obviously doing all your...
Delightful. Just please don't turn me upside down. The other me gets really weird about personal contact. Let's just pick me up and take me outside, okay?
Okay. I'd
Also,
say
don't
you
look
can
at the
see
back.
the sun, but don't look at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh, Jack, it's just going so wonderfully for me. I don't suppose... What would you like today? We have such lovely conversations, you and I.
We really do. You know, I always liked you.
Oh, Jack, the feeling's mutual.
Oh, well, isn't that nice? Look at the weather today. Not rainy for once. I don't like when it rains, given that I made a paper.
Yes, I suppose the rain is a little bit depressing down in Doskville, isn't it? I do prefer Imperial City, especially this sort of time of year.
Yes, lovely in the spring, isn't it?
It is.
Yes. And so, where are you taking Jack precisely? Are you just leaving the premises? Or?
I'm going to ask him nicely to get the red sash, get my Lyra Clev to come and give an exhibition sword match. Like, Jack of Diamonds. I know you have.
That...
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, please go on.
Yeah. I promised it I have to deliver, right? And I think this is the funniest way to do so.
Yes. I mean, Jack is apparently some kind of world-bending magician, so if anyone can do it, it's probably Jack.
And as a wise man once said, if I promise, I must deliver.
Yes. Okay, so I guess you're just openly asking Jack, so you're rolling with Poet again?
Yeah. I'm like, I'd just surely love to see my Lyra Clev, the fantastic swords mistress. And I think she's going to open her heart and say about how I feel like my Lyra is still young of an age. Yeah. They had romantic feelings for each other. For real. Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see this roll.
8.
Okay. It's an 8. So you pick.
You know something? No.
No, it's not. It's not, is it?
I'm gonna appear. Yeah, I'm gonna appear. I'm gonna take some scandal, and I'm gonna make this bad because what this game needs is more infighting.
Okay.
So I think as you ask Jack this, I am going. I don't think you will notice, but I'm creeping past, and then just as Jack is nodding along, he will see my face, and I will just mouth Vault of Vanithathris. And the reason that this is scandalous, I think, is that in this case, when I say this, I'm not as quiet as I think I am, so everyone can hear me.
Yes, including Igor. So they see you intimidating this poor playing card, and Jack gets distracted and confused, and so you turn this to a 6, which means they misunderstand your intentions as uncharitably as possible. So Jack goes like, "Oh, my Lyra, of course. I didn't realize you felt so strongly about her. Don't worry, I'll go tell her right away." And he will fly out of your hands and go and confess your romantic feelings for my Lyra Clev to her.
This gets done bad.
This is what you deserve. Now when you flirt with my Lyra, it'll seem like both me and my Lyra are competing for your affections.
Yes, I think this is
what's scandalous.
Yeah.
So Jack will fly off and confess your romantic feelings for my Lyra, and we shall see what comes of it. But let us cut to Nestor for the moment. Okay. Because Nestor Papadopoulos is indoors somewhere. You will be interrupted, but what are you doing?
So first I wake up from a nap.
Of course.
It's been a hard day. I wake up from a nap in the study, and I kind of stretch. I do some minor calisthenics. I have a nice tea, and then I go out and look, and I find my new best friend, Dr. Alberti Alexander, and we're looking out at the lawn, and we see Bazabaz show up, and I'm like, "Oh yes, that must be Master Lord Brooke. I am heavens, I do not know his proper title. The gentleman has arrived, and thus, and thus we see the first blow struck against this furious hex, and now we must turn to the second matter, which is, my dear Dr. Alexander, you are a working class fellow. Do you know anything about boilers?
Well, they're not electroplasmic, so they're not my specialty. nor are they strictly speaking plumbing, but I mean, I suppose one could combine the two fields and make something interdisciplinary.
Ah, yes. You were always a fan of this newfangled trend for interdisciplinarity. I call it indisciplinarity. But we must make do with what we can. So you can, as they say, jimmy together a boiler.
Well, now I think you must make a roll against him.
Yes.
I think you're actually opening your heart to him for once, right? You're not.
Yeah.
You have been confronting him and trying to, but I think now you're just actually asking for his empathy and his help. So roll with poet.
Now we're friends.
Yes.
It's a 9.
It's a 9. Okay, if no one intervenes, finally, you actually get to choose one. So they sympathize with you, but you speak too plainly, take a scandal, reveal a secret, or they take it too far and overreact.
Huh. Secrets? Maybe I reveal
I actually don't like this reveal a secret option, and I might remove it from the game, but you can choose it if you wish. It's there for now.
The only reason I was mildly attracted to it is that I have revealed next to nothing about myself.
Yeah.
But also, maybe that's funny.
Yeah.
I would like them to take it too far and overreact, because that's the funniest option.
Yes. Very good. So you don't take a scandal, so he goes, yes, I had an idea! And he shoves his finger into the air, and what is happening here is he is going to absolutely jury rig an electroplasmic boiler out of stuff around the house, which, 1, he's going to break stuff in the process, and 2, electroplasm is something that's actually quite harmful to supernatural creatures, and Lord Scurlock may not wish to want it in his house, so, But he's going to build an electroplasmic boiler.
Them's the breaks, as they say in Severus.
Yes.
And Severus, you keep saying things like this.
And a moment as you send Dr. Alexander away to work on his brilliant new electroplasmic boiler invention, Bazo and Pickett will appear next to you, and they go old man, I'm sorry to take away your attention, but have you seen any signs of a singing demon about?
Yes, it's that horrible crooner. Demon... No, yes, why not? Why not put it in as strong a word as possible? I agree with you. You must be the gentleman, Mr. Bazo Baz Brokella.
Yes, the very same.
A plain-speaking man. It's a pity that your daughter did not inherit your candor.
You're such a
I see you there.
But
the thing about
yes,
I was just going to say, the thing about growing up in the kind of household that Klow and I have is that we're really good at this.
Yes. Well, anyway,
yes, I think yes, this I do happen to have a few spare moments as Dr. Alexander works on his coal-burning electroplasmic boiler. He explained it. I found it tedious. I did not listen. But he's occupied, and I find myself with a free afternoon. So I can, in fact, show you to where this lounge singer lounges about. And, they call this genre, which is the word that the Sephirothi use to describe type. The genre of music, if it can be called music, they call it the blues. The blues! What is blue about this sort of music beyond that one wishes that one were blue and cold and dead rather than hear such?
You hear that, Pickett?
I think you got it.
Get out the blue wine.
Yeah, I think you hit
but tell me, your daughter, she never really told us how we should address you. Is it Lord Brokella?
No, it's not. You can call me Vampire Hunter Brokella. I guess that's his title too.
Appreciate that you would allow me to do such, but I've... no. Mr. Brokella is good enough then. And I think
I hate everything about this.
We're just heading to the
Yes, they're heading to the lounge. And just because I think it's funny, we'll stay on this scene. Just because I think it's funny, I think Eratis, who is like an all-powerful demon, has spent all of this time preparing for your 4D chess by doing nothing, and is just in the same room.
Yeah.
And so you accompany Basso as he kicks in the door and goes like, "So that's the source of the demonic music. Pickett!" And Pickett holds up this jar that says XXX and has a skull and crossbones on it. And Aratis like flinches back and hisses like a vampire.
So do I. And I say,
Yes.
do forgive me. I'm an old and slightly infirm man, and the fumes of that alcohol. And I kind of like flinch away to be away from it. Yes.
Is there something you're attempting to do in the scene? Otherwise, Bass will just have an epic confrontation with Eratis the demon.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, of course, it's much more interesting if I do it. So I think I turn to Eratis, whom I have no idea is the source of my problems. And I'll just say, and as for you... And then I kind of like look at him and with my finger pointed at him and shaking as I try to remember his name and I fail.
Yes.
And then I just say, Your days of haunting this manor are over. Go find yourself some 2-bit whiskey bar to sing. To go and tell them about love and what she done wrong to you or whatever ungrammatical formulations.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, and I think like what I'm doing, because I'm pointing at a demon and I'm telling him to be gone. And even though I don't realize that's what I'm doing, I am a powerful archmage of some sort. Even if I spend my time doing other things.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I am.
So, well, it's definitely a challenge. Yes. Challenge someone.
Be gone from this house.
Yes, and I think you have the effect to do it. So what do you roll?
Challenge someone. It's like
hero.
It's always heroes. Yeah. All right.
Yep. Okay, so both. You are the victor and you both make enemy survivals. Yes. So I think as you say this, Pickett shakes the bottle and the tops of the cork and it's like champagne, surprisingly, in this XXX bottle, and it stains Aratis and he flees and it will in fact dissolve this human form. So it's not like the demon isn't dead, but the identity of Eratis has been eroded and the demon's been banished. And Basso turns to Pickett and goes, Basso turns to Pickett and goes like, well done. All right, now for Scurlock.
Oh, good heavens. Good heavens, that alcohol is quite strong, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Damn it! This room isn't ventilated enough. Basso says.
I'm going to pass out then.
Yes. Very good. Excellent. Let's just assume that everyone else passes out because, again, it's a farce, so they can't actually kill the host. The host is immune to harm in this game.
Yes.
Anyway, so Lista. What are you doing? Your father told you not to go into the house, and maybe he assigned like a thug to make sure you don't. I don't know.
Well, I need to find Nestor so he can choose all the teas for me.
Ah, yes. So you need to go into the house where Basta is.
Nothing revives a man like some fortifying tea.
Yes.
Doctor, where are you? I need you to explain the concepts of oolong from Puer today. Where are you, Doctor?
Okay. So, because it's funny, let us assume that Lissa finds everyone knocked out by the Demon Bane wine, which is, after all, quite strong. So everyone is just lying around unconscious in the lounge singer's room. So Basso is there, and actually it's funnier if Pickett is awake. I think Pickett is busy dragging everyone out because he's immune to this. So he goes like, sorry love, they're right pissed. He pulls people out of the room.
Oh, Pickett, would you like some help?
Oh, love it. Yeah. Thanks. You want to take the doctor? And
yes, of course. I need to talk to him.
The old man. Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to take him to his chambers. Hopefully they're a little bit drier than they were this morning. Let me tell you. He would not stop going on about it.
Oh, yeah. Pickett looks around and he goes like, hey, nice place. You think anyone mind if I swipe this? And he picks up a chandelier.
Off the floor?
Yes.
Well, I think it might go missing, Pickett. But I must say, Demina does know about the fact that my father did hire people to steal from Lord Scurlock. And one of them was the one I was interested in, and that's not very fun for me to have to explain. I mean, I think I managed to take a little bit of heat off myself, but you need to be more subtle about things.
Okay, you need to make a roll with Pickett here, I think. And the question is it poet or is it spy? It's up to you. I think
spy.
Yeah, it sounds like spy. You're trying to help him be subtle. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's see you roll with spy.
That's a 5.
Amazing. So what will happen is, what will happen, I think, is Pickett just goes like, right, I completely understand. Too conspicuous in it. And he leaves the chandelier, and then he will instead steal. He looks around for something that looks valuable, and his eyes settle on like a silver book in a bookshelf, inlaid with precious stones and covered in arcane runes.
No, don't steal the Necronomicon. Don't steal the
No one will see.
Necronomicon.
No one's gonna miss this. No one reads.
No, exactly. Yeah.
This guy's a jock. He just plays sport.
Yes, because you failed the roll, you don't notice this. Pickett just goes for the thing that no one will miss, which is this book. So...
No, Pickett, no.
There's Archlich Pickett to you.
And I think as you drag the old man back towards his room, we see Pickett in the background go like, I wonder if this is some kind of cookbook. Something that goes with the wines. Yes.
Get a flambe going.
So while Lissa takes the doctor back to his room, I think let's check in with Yamani once more.
Great. Well, it's a problem and an issue, let me tell you, being a ghost in a person that doesn't know what's going on. So I've scared Jack off. I have jacked him off.
Yes.
But I have yet to convince Lord Scurlock or anybody else that this young whippersnapper Lissa is useless. And nobody should pay attention to her, right?
I have to tell you that I had like a 3-second moment where I imagined how one would jack off, and I didn't like it.
Yes.
That's why Jack says don't look at the back of the card.
Well.
Great.
Anyway,
so,
yes. He gets in your hand. That's how. Anyway, I'm
so sorry. That was just very funny. Okay. Let me recover from that for a second.
So he comes to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Sick. Yeah. I will look at Jack and I will say,
Oh, Jack is leaving.
No,
but
look.
sure.
Oh, sorry, not Jack. No, not Jack. Because
Yeah.
actually, I don't want to talk to him. I thought he was coming in my hand, but then I realized it was a joke.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yes. No. Jack
I gotta figure out. Yeah, no, go on.
He's heading off to find my lyric lab. This is what he is doing.
Did we all just break at this moment?
Yes.
Nothing works anymore.
Anyway, go on.
I then need to once more enlist somebody's help. And the only person left with whom I have not established, let us not call it a rapport. Let us call it an alliance that is soon to break down, maybe even immediately, is Kitiana Robespierre, an avid tennis player.
She is every single
other NPC thinks I suck. So I gotta make a friend. So I am gonna go up to Kitiana, and I will say, Kitiana, I was hoping to catch you on your own. Do you have a second to talk?
Oh, always, girl. What's up?
Right, I'm not a girl, but sure. Can you do me a favor now?
Turn face.
Yeah, no, I know. Don't worry about it. Thinking in their head, if they liked her a little more, they'd probably be fine. And I think they will say, so here's the thing. Lord Scurlock, Bertold, my very dear friend, as you know, some years ago he robbed a vault. And he's been very concerned about keeping the context of that vault. Sorry?
I just want to point out that you're telling his tennis coach that he robbed the vault market.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
normal conversation. Go on.
Like, I just, I was out of ideas 3 ideas ago, okay?
Yes.
I'll just say, so, he robbed a vault a little while ago, stole a few things, like a silver book, like a chandelier, some stuff, but also a lot of money. And he's been concerned for some time that there might be people in the house looking to steal his money from him. And I have to admit that of all the people in the house, you're the only person I feel I can trust with this secret. And if you're
the only person left.
Sorry.
I just find this entire plan so funny. Go on.
Yes, correct. You are right. And young Litha Prochala, she's always struck me as someone very shady, someone very not quite the thing. So I was hoping you might help me convince Lord Scurlock that she's after his fortune.
Okay, so it sounds like you're doing something underhanded and rolling with spy.
Yep.
And let's see how this goes. Because what?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yes.
You're saying this to me? Hey man, I just come up with the stuff. It's truly wild.
Yes. Roll with spy, please.
Yes, give me 1 second.
Lol.
A fail. Incredible. So you're discovered.
It is the funniest thing to occur. Let's be serious.
So I think Kitiana says, I see what's going on here. Listen. He's part of my sales network. You're not getting in any sales to him. What are you selling? Essential oils? You bitch! Butting in on my business.
What do you mean? I don't know what the hell. Not essential. What the hell is an essential oil? What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, she is thinking you're part of a rival MLM, you see.
Yes, no, I know that. I think, unfortunately, Yamini does not know what MLMs are. Well, she knows what monsters love other monsters, but she doesn't know what multi-level marketing is.
Yes.
So she's just confused, absolutely befuddled by this turn of events.
And I think Kitiana just kind of chews you out, and then she goes well, anyway, I've got a party to attend to because apparently the red sashes will be there, and you know what? I bet that sword arm translates into a really good forehand, and I just want to see how, if any of them want to join me for tennis. And maybe need some equipment. And she's going to go attend the party. And I think let's do the scene with Lissa and Papadopoulos, but I think we're moving on to evening, to be honest.
It's always funny to me when Tree starts losing his shit and this dude is like, no, I won't record this actually.
So, Lissa and Papadopoulos, you wake. Papadopoulos, you wake up in your room. What does your room look like?
Inadequate.
Good enough description. Lissa wakes you up.
I wake up in my. I suppose it'll do, but anyway, I wake up in my bed, my big 4-poster bed.
Yes.
And so are you like standing at the foot of my bed, or kind of like on a chair, or like next to me, or what? What is the scene?
Yeah. I think Lissa is indeed sitting in the. I imagine it's like this moth-eaten wing-backed chair, and she's like paging through.
No, it's actually really nice.
Oh, it's a really nice chair.
Yeah, it's just inadequate.
It's not good enough. It's also a little bit damp, so it's squishing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you're awake, Doctor.
Oh! Good heavens, young lady, you should not. I know you kind of look around. The scandal! You should not find yourself alone in a man's room.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I only wished to ask you your opinion on the tea selection and the. You said you wanted to have an opinion on it, and am I?
No, young lady. Forgive me my little jest. And he gives them a sepulchral laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel up to taking a look at the teas my family make?
I can muster the strength for you, my dear. I had a most enlightening and interesting interview with your father and his servant earlier.
Oh, Pickett is such a doll, isn't he?
He is a man of quality. And your father and myself and this Mr. Pickett, we saw eye to eye on the matter of lounge singers. And I kind of give a nod as if this should mean something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can show me your teas anytime you want. I'm just going to... I think I'm just going to kind of prop myself up on my bed.
Yeah.
And,
So, do you want me to listen to you going on about lounge singers and being an archmage of some sort of conclave?
No, it would be. Yeah. It would be. I never talk about being an archmage. I just am one. Mm-hmm. It's not important.
I'm just saying, if I'm giving you what you want, which is me, which is Lissa's ear, you become entangled in my scheme.
Yes,
because I would love to talk to you about tea and also lounge singers and so on. I will not mention the archmage thing because that's just
boring.
Yeah.
So passe. Everybody knows an archmage on the street. Everybody's an archmage these days. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's quite refreshing to see someone of your generation showing an interest in the fine leaf. I find that so many young people all they care about is blood needle and other such things. I heard that they do it from each other's bottoms.
Oh my god! Why would you say something like that?
Oh, Doctor, that's not true. That's just a rumor that the Duroblins spread around about my family. Actually, we do it from each other's belly buttons. It's a little bit more risque, you know. You know, it's the
If only I could
promise.
do a mental saving throw.
You should try anyway.
It's just psychic damage, I'm afraid.
So I think I am drawn into your scheme, right? What does this mean?
For a piece.
You joining the scheme basically just means that you will be like, and I should clarify this in the rules, I suppose, but it means that we will be framing Salty's scheme as firing off first, and you will be part of it when it comes to evening. So,
belly buttons. It reminds me of a most unpleasant experience in southern Iruvia. And the tea that I used afterwards to forget the taste was... And then I tell you the tea that I used to forget the taste of. I will not tell... I don't think I even tell you what the taste of what, but I think... I assume that as a debossed young person you would understand. I too have once been with it and down.
Down bad.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes.
What I think this means is that you have delivered the hand-picked teas. I guess. I presume once you have hand-picked them, like Lissa can just get them from like the kitchen because they were in the kitchen and not in the flooded basement. Although it would have been funny if Aratis had turned the basement into Void Sea tea. But anyway.
Maybe that's why she was doing it.
I also appreciate, Prince, that you were like, okay, so this is what all this bullshit actually means in game terms. Thank you.
Yes. I think it's time to move on towards evening. It just feels like the pacing is right for that.
Yes,
and so
correct.
Salty has the initiative. So, Lissa, it's finally time for the grand event. Hopefully you have persuaded as many as possible to attend. Welcome everyone and hold your opening performance, serve forth what you've cooked, etc. Then roll number of promises kept. So, you don't have Mylera Clem, but you do have tea and wine.
Don't have Mylera Clem in the capacity I want her, unfortunately.
Yes. No.
Oh, well.
No.
Mylera didn't show up?
Mylera may show up depending on how this roll goes. That's how I'm framing it. But she has not been secured as an asset, right? So, that's why I think she does not give you any plus on this roll.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. She might still appear in the scene, but I think it's funnier to like... So, before you roll, frame like the scene of the party, like what you have actually arranged.
I think it's held outside, of course, because it's a nice day. So it's in the evening.
Probably in the tennis court, right? The nice garden, since it's no longer being used for tennis.
Not the one that's been smashed up by a croquet mallet.
Yep.
Hi.
The Dimmer Sisters are rising behind us. It's all very lovely set out.
Yeah.
Lovely electroplasmic lighting illuminating the court, and a various selection of wines, most of which are from family vineyards, and teas and other such things, and pastries. It's all very social, very refined.
Yes.
Excellent.
And yes, a thing to note about Yamani's scheme, by the way, is that Yamani's scheme is tied to another player's scheme, and I think it makes sense for it to be this one, which means that Scurlock is here. So, yeah, it says the host wanders into another PC's evening. So, Scurlock is here. I mean, it's not strange. The party is partly for him. So,
no, unfortunately, that means I also must be here, even though I really don't want to be.
Yes, and so, Lissa, I guess, Scurlock, I guess Bazo and Co are still knocked out, possibly, or else they've stolen stuff and fucked off.
Yeah.
I mean, they did use their Demon Bane wine already, so maybe they couldn't confront Scurlock. We don't know what's become of them, actually. But Scurlock is here, and he says, like, I forgot your last name, sorry. He says, Miss Brocala. What?
Yes.
A lovely and delightful evening after some sporting. It's positively stunning. he says with a hand to his chest, and he looks at you with the intensity of a romantic if goofy vampire. Tell me, where shall we begin?
I think this is where I shall roll. See what he thinks. So these are from our vineyards in southern Agruthia.
Yes. So it's a +2, and it is an 8, in fact. So, here is how this works. The event is a success, but your efforts go somewhat overlooked. You will need to challenge someone in a dance-off, musical competition, or food critic competition for your scheme to fully succeed. So, I think, Yamani, you're up. I think this makes perfect sense that you're the person that you're needing to be challenged.
Yeah.
You can say how you spoil the party. Otherwise, an NPC will do it. But
no, yeah, sure. That makes perfect sense.
But yes, it's otherwise a success. Apart from Yamani.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that I will. So is this thing that is it just tea tasting?
It's wine tasting at the moment.
Yeah, tea and wine. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess you combine.
I'm trying to wonder what I'm gonna compete with Alyssa with. Okay, I know. I think as I swirl some wine around in a wine glass, sniff it, I'll look up at Alyssa and I'll say, "Oh, my darling, shall we play a game?"
A game?
Oh yes, delightful. Some sports.
Indeed, a game. I was going to say something else, but now Lord Scurlock said some sports, so yes. I'm like, okay, some sports, sure.
He is sports obsessed.
Yeah. So I will say, I will stand here and balance this wine glass perfectly atop my head, and you can attempt to hit it off my head. As you were saying, your father is a great tennis connoisseur, and you've learned much from him, have you not? You could show all of us your skills.
Yes, the wine glass on the head and try to strike it off, just as when I was a boy. Scurlock grew up with weird games, okay?
Sure he did, yeah.
I mean, I guess he grew up in an English village where people have these incredibly peculiar tiny competitions every year.
Yeah.
Shall we make it a little bit more risque?
More risque? Why? Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
And I think she draws a pistol. She's like,
oh,
shall we?
Challenge accepted.
Excellent.
Yeah,
okay.
And I will say, and I think that you, in fact, will see, the viewer will see in Yamini's eyes almost like a lull, because I think they will just say, why ever not? Because they're already dead.
Yes.
So what the fuck is this gunshot gonna do to them? Or so they think. If this roll goes badly, it's possible that it's an electroplasmic bullet. So.
Yep. Okay, let's see you challenge someone.
Yeah.
And let's see how it goes. Roll with hero.
Cool. Okay. This is great. This is fine.
Yep.
So I've got +1 to this. Okay. Would something like to help me out, please? God.
Well, you have a bailout actually if you miss on your final event, which is let the event go by unremembered and lose 1 hospitality for disappointing everyone, or do something drastic and unforgettable, taking 2 points of scandal but forcing your scheme to succeed. Describe what brazen thing you do to become the center of attention.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that you miss here. A miss on this roll just means Yamani looks cooler than you, unless you take 2 scandal. And I will give you the option of introducing my lyric Lev with this scandal, because I think it makes a lot of sense.
I will also say that it is very funny if what you do now is you cause scandal by successfully shooting me and revealing I'm a ghost.
That is true. That's just taking to scandal for shooting Yamani in the head actually makes perfect sense here because it won't kill them.
Yeah.
And
it's a problem.
The funniest thing is that Yamani's scheme is to try to find something in common with Lord Scurlock, which being shot in the head might actually contribute to. So, but it's your call, Salty.
I'm going to take 2 scandal because that means I get chucked out, and I think that's going to be very exciting. But my scheme will go off without a hitch. My scheme will go off without a hitch here.
So
very
you
good.
take scandal and you shoot Yamani, and I guess we're framing it as Yamani being shot.
Yeah, I think so. I think what is happening here is everybody sees it's a perfect shot. It goes straight through the forehead. You know, and I will fall down. I'm not bleeding because I've been inhabiting a corpse, and the wine glass remains unbroken.
Yes.
So in many ways, it's a more impressive shot.
Yes. And here is the thing. If another player steals the host attention from you, Yamani, then your scheme fails. And I think this was actually very close to happening. But now, nothing says both can succeed, right? So what has happened here is that Lissa's scheme has succeeded to become the center of attention, and this definitely gets everyone's attention. Everyone's like, wow, what the hell? And you now have an opportunity to take the host's attention. So Lord Scurlock looks at you. Who I just remembered, Lord Scurlock is invisible to ghosts normally, but I guess you can see him because you have this whole time. So Lord Scurlock looks at
because No, go on.
I think Lord Scurlock looks at your ghostly form, which is still standing where your body was, because I think you've been ejected from the body. Yeah.
Yes. And I will roll now, I guess.
I think so. To reminisce with Lord Scurlock.
Yeah. So that's plus poet, is it? No, it's plus spy.
It's plus spy. Yes, it's plus spy.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Fantastic. Roll 2d6 plus 1. It's a 7.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, you kindle friendship if and only if you have the cooperation of the player whose scheme the host wandered in on. So
I don't think this is even a question, right?
I don't think Lissa is being an excellent hype man, but it's your call, Salty. So I guess Scurlock looks at the ghost that's just materialized, and Lissa, you are the center of attention. So it is up to you what you do, having just shot a person, revealed they are a ghost, and Lord Scurlock has briefly recognized them.
Yeah, I think whatever form I'm in now, it's recognizable. I'm just going, oh, my head!
And what do you do, Lissa?
Oh, it is a shame that it didn't put you down for good.
Oh! But yes, it is not cooperation. I am sorry to say that
it is not.
This scheme has failed, and so let us read what happens. Yes, so on a miss, you are forgotten, relegated to unimportance, unless you immediately upstage the other player in the scene, which I don't think is possible after this. So
yeah, I mean, what am I going to do? She's already upstaged herself.
Yes, I think your scheme has unfortunately failed.
Yes. No.
And so...
But if my scheme fails, but my scandal is lower than my hospitality, I still get to stick around, right?
Yes. We will see about this in the resolution phase, which isn't 100% finished as we're playing this, so I will tinker with it.
Yeah, sure.
But and what remains is Dr. Papadopoulos, as this is happening. Where the hell are you?
Okay, first I'm going to roll to see how things go.
Okay, so you're just going to roll first. Yes, evening. So,
you want to read it out?
Yes, it's finally time to deal with this damn nuisance. If you have what you need to address the problem, you just need someone to do the actual work. If another PC agrees to abandon their scheme and do yours instead, you automatically succeed. This does not happen.
Yeah.
If not, complain loudly about how no one has the priorities straight and roll hero to commandeer the staff.
Oh, bother! The carpets feel like 100 dogs have gone to the toilet on them. Why has no one... Igor? And where is Dr. Alexander?
Yes. As this shot happens, the electroplasmic spark chugs alive in the mansion. And,
let's see how that goes.
Yes. And let's see. And I guess, yeah, you're right. You're rid of the demon that was causing the leaks. So you basically just need to clean this up.
We need to get the water. We need to get the water going again now.
Yes.
And clean up. Oh, it's a 4.
Oh man, it's been a bad day for all of us.
On a miss, the damned nuisance remains a problem. It turns out this solution wasn't appropriate after all, unless one of the useless people in the house steps up and helps you. Your scheme will succeed if and only if another PC volunteers to help you. If they do, you are in their deepest debt. So the question, I guess, is anyone else helping Dr. Papadopoulos clean up the water?
Can we?
I don't know that you can. It's difficult to frame it, given how all of this has come together.
It's bother. Bother. At least. There's meant to be tea out there, isn't there?
Yes.
And I wander out to the the table, and I have a Madeleine cake, and I have some tea.
Yes.
And I spit it out because it's... Oh, that girl, she can't... No. Bother.
Very good.
And then I'm going to just stretch out on the lawn, on a deck chair, and just fall asleep.
Good.
Right next to the corpse, I guess.
Fantastic.
Miss...
Oh, bother.
Miss Yamani, you're looking pale.
Amazing. So, what now happens for Lissa, who is the only one who succeeded in the scheme, is when your scheme succeeds, unless it lists a specific reward, choose from below 2 hospitality, someone is in your deepest debt, a playbook specific reward. You can't choose the third because you don't have one. So you can take someone being in your deepest debt, but you're kicked out from the house, or you can take the 2 hospitality and be a 3 hospitality and 3 scandal, and just about stay in the house.
Oh my god! He's gonna walk!
If you choose the hospitality, then fair play. Your scandal is not higher than your hospitality, so...
Yeah, boy. I think that is what I will do, yeah.
So, basically, Scurlock is just impressed with you, I think. He's like, why? Darling Miss Brokella, that was an incredible shot. Maybe I have misjudged you and your fathers. Scoundrels.
Maybe I should get into shooting instead.
Yes. Oh, yes. Maybe I ought to get into shooting instead. Can you show me how you got such an excellent shot? Igor, get the clay pigeons.
Oh no.
Oh no. What a loud sport. If only there was some music to drown the noise. Where did that ghastly singer go to?
And so this is where we wrap up our evening. Lissa is heavily scandalized for having murdered one of the other guests, but is somehow still in the house because it wasn't the real house. Yes, it's Scurlock's house. And Yamani is no closer to any of their goals at all. But
apparently I'm a ghost now.
Yes, you are a ghost. So you end with the bad ending, and I guess Papadopoulos just had kind of a neutral ending where he hadn't accomplished anything he set out to do, but he's no worse off, really. So.
Oh, man! Yes, very good.
And that's the game.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Yes.
Indeed.
Cheers.
Oh,
yes. I hope you had as much fun listening to this as we did recording it. And we will see you next time in the regular Desperate Attune. But Patreon people, stick around for the after talk. There won't be XP, but we will chat about the game.